And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another weekend edition of the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, week number 73. I'm of course SI VIP, and with me I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome one and all. Bienvenidos to our first series of the night already here. We cut the break short. We just jumped right into the game, right into the tournament. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. The bracket is stacked, the bracket is live. We have plenty of representation throughout all races, thankfully. We have herO, we have ByuN, we have herO, we have SHIN, and we have these two players before you as well. We are jumping on in and spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines. We have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran for Team Falcons. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is Noise. Nice. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat, as it is Gamba time. Also, as we get into this, a big shout out to Rowdy. Thank you so much for resubscribing for 20 months. I can't believe it's May. It's been so long. But 20 months in a row. Thank you so much, Rowdy, for the support. Thank you so much for subscribing. I do appreciate it, as always. Good, near and dear friend. Thank you so much for the support. Likewise, welcome to all those in the chat as well. I see Becoeta in the chat. I see Baby Links as well. Andy, bienvenidos. El Machico. So many babies. so many babies. Oh my god. It's crazy. All the kids. We never pull out. As we are settling into our next Oita first series here. So far, nothing crazy. ByuN, he does go for an economic opener, going for a Rax expand into a factory. Likewise, ByuN also skips his Reaper. He does check the third base location, scouting with his Marine, scouting for proxies, but again is not scouting across the map. No SCV scout, no Reaper scout. Hola, mano. Suena tocar, papi. Sí. Good to see you. Bienvenidos, papi, bienvenidos. As here we go, we do have nice, likewise, opening up Sentry. Sentry openers have been very trendy here in PvT. Why? Because of the hallucination. So early NG overcharge into early hallucination scout across the map tells me that Nice is going to be fully aware of what is going on. He's going to be fully aware of the build and opener of ByuN. Hallucination dives in, does confirm the 1-1-1. The ranks in the factory into Starport. All is seen, all is spotted. Nice is aware. From here is also aware of the initial Marine opener. We can see it's going to be reactored, not Widowmine, reactored Hellion instead. Interesting. This can lead into a Hellion drop. This can lead into double Hellion, then into double Widowmine, and then we can drop across the map and try to harass at the same time. We'll see how aggressive ByuN plans on being, and yep, there it is. So double Hellion into double Widowmine. Ideally, you do want to try to line this up. You don't want to go in too preemptively ahead of time. Meanwhile, Nice already moving out ahead of time. Oh my god. Does already push out with a Stalker and a Sentry. You do see the Hellions take a lot of hits, have to back off, and right now ByuN is vulnerable, but with the help of these Widowmines, he can hold, he can defend. Yeah, Widowmines are waddle in. A couple of boys are being pulled as well. And so far ByuN should be safe and sound. Force field tries to look down. That does lock down one of the Hellions. Hellion does fall for a Sentry though. I would say not a bad trade here for ByuN. Not bad whatsoever. Widowmines, they will zone away. Oh, speaking of, oof, they don't just zone, they kill. And last down to one Stalker. Very nice pick off here by ByuN. Behind this is going to be loading up. They're dropping across the map. We have 3 Widowmines here in the medevac. And can he bait him in? Oh, never mind. Okay, can he bait him in? Oh my god. Not quite. Not yet. Speaking of bait, oh, the mine shot does go off. One Widowmine is going to be going down. Likewise, Nicely does set up a proxy across the map. How many gateways do we have? Jesus Christ, we have 1 so far, getting up to 5 gates. 2 base all in. 5 gates charged to base all in here at a nice, very unorthodox, very chaotic here from our Taiwanese Protoss player. Does dip in, does not get the SCV. Nice control there by ByuN, saving the SCV, diving into the bunker, preserving as many units as he can. So far, ByuN, he is holding on, but it's not about these 3 Stalkers. It's about the Warpin. It's about the 2 base all in that's coming his way. Again, that's so many gateways. Now, it looks like Nice is setting up for an expansion, so he will take a 3rd, but is being very, very heavy charge base here. I mean, checking the... The upgrades charge is already done. Zell should soon be warping in, and we'll see if Nice can break ByuN. as he's skipping his gases and just going pure minerals, pure charge lots, and the medevac does spot. Medevac does confirm. Mine just going off, massive connections. Zealot's go down instantly. But he holds. Bunny, he holds. He's got his tank, he's got his wooden mines. He does shut this down. This also explains as to why Bunny didn't move out with his mine drop. Once he saw the proxy, he stayed back, right? He stayed back. Bunny, he didn't get across the map. He's now more aware of what's going on. And this is setting Nice behind. So Nice, he delays his own forge, his own +1, his own blink as well, and his own third base in favor of charge. And alas, didn't quite work out, didn't quite get enough done. It does at least contain Bunny, but Nice, he was hoping for more damage. Behind this Bunny, a mine drop into Banshee play. No cloak. No cloak, bear that in mind. Just regular Banshee moving in. Nice is in position, and Nice will shut this down. Oof. Yeah, no damage dealt. Nice pickoff here by Nice. Very nice pickoff. Hallucination Scout does confirm stim timing, does confirm the 1-1 into 3-backs. Sorry, just sneezing. Yeah. Okay, we get. So Nice is aware, and we'll see how long he can contain Bunny. As it stands at the moment, Nice, he's recovering, he's trying to catch back up tech-wise and catch back up economically. Nice, he has a ways to go. He has a ways to go to catch back up. Meanwhile, Bunny, he's building up his forces into stim, combat shields, and eventually will break out. And we'll see if Nice can slow him down. If he can pick up any key units. Speaking of, Nice rotates in. Doesn't quite get much done though. Bunny does get away. Does peel off, does get away. Oh. God, I'm so sneezy today. Jesus. We can calm down. Again, for the most part, Bunny is being contained, but did I say he's being contained? He breaks out. He is now breaking out here. Stim is going to finish up in a couple of seconds by the time the army gets across the map. Bunny, he does break out. And back at home, what does Nice have to defend? He's going to be able to warp in 5 Zealots at a time. He's got a decent amount of charge lots. He will have +1 in a couple of seconds. He should have it in time for the move out. Of course, Bunny is going to have the anti-armor missile. The Raven is available. Raven is available here. As Bunny's moving in. Now remember, there is no Matrix. There is no Disable. Blast does get the shot off. Ooh, does connect. Mainly on the Colossus, not on the charge lots. Despite that, Bunny moving in. Does move in. Water Heart thrown down, trying to zone away. Tanking some of those shots. So far, good tank position. You see Bunny trying to cut Nice off from his own natural. He's trying to catch him off guard. We're trying to catch him out of position here. Wedging himself in between the bases. Second Colossus has arrived. With the ones reset. I go off here on the Zealot. Zealot take away from behind as well. Tank's going to be going down. He breaks through the tanks, and it looks like can he break through the ByuN army as well? Barely not, but there are a lot of Zealots, and Nice holds. Whew. Nice, he holds on. He cleans up the tanks, cleans up the wooden mines. Doesn't get on top of the ByuN, and Bunny does retreat. Again, Bunny just doesn't have enough to break this position. No, with 2 Colossus. Immortals on the way. Behind this, Bunny, he did establish his third base as he was attacking his scans, looking for a fourth. Fourth has still not been taken, so Nice, he's behind here economically. He does need a 4th expansion. Does need it, doesn't have it. And Bunny's taking up. Bunny's taking up into double Viking production. Armory's on the way. Ghost Academies as well for his Ghost production. So far, Bunny looking solid. And again, what's important is that he preserved the army. He didn't overextend. He didn't try to break his opponents and try to break the Colossus. Like, no, not at all. He saved everything. Bunny, he gets spotted. Nice, moving in towards the 3rd. Bunny out of position. Nice, what can he get done? Doesn't quite get into the mineral line. Bunny, he reacts in time. Does react and takes out one of the Colossus. Barely gets one, the other does still stand strong. Marauders are stepping in, they're breaking through those stalkers. The Colossus is exposed. He wants it. Up, can he get it? He can. 100%. It will go down. And without the Colossus, there's nothing left. Nothing here. The stalkers, they do nothing. GG gets called. Nice is broken. And Bunny will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Bunny will take a lead in the series. Again, Nice. Unfortunately, his initial opener did set him behind. On top of that, as Nice was defending against the initial tank push, we saw that Nice, he failed to expand during the defense. He failed to get a 4th base, so he did fall behind economically. His economy fell by the wayside. He got outscaled as the game went on, and he was basically all in. He was basically all in with his push. He lost everything. GG. GG, well played. Bunny does take a lead in the series, and now we are getting ready for game number 2. Let's go. Likewise, we are also getting ready here for not just the second series, but the rest of the bracket is progressing. True. Shout out to all the other English casters out there. I believe Steadfast is casting. I believe Chicken Man, Dave Testa as well. At times, we do see Enki joining in, and yeah, Enki also casting in Spanish as well. Let's go. So jumping into that second game, and we'll be catching up on the bracket after this. We'll get there. We'll get there. Catch up on the brackets. As game 2 is going to be on El Dorado. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the South Korean Terran player. The Red Terran, leading the series 1-0 for Team Falcons. It is Bunny. One game away from claiming the series, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, returning from retiring, essentially. Still retired, still playing for fun. It is Nice. For those that are curious, Nice, he did retire last year, I want to say. I think it was around April. Nice, for a long time, he was, I would say, he took the mantle from Haas as the best player in all of Taiwan, Hong Kong, in the Taiwan-Hong Kong region, and was a very strong competitor, 100%, especially in the OCE rest of Asia region as well. But last year, he did announce his retirement because that Nice has been very inactive over the past year of play, but recently did come back to play in a couple of Open Cups every now and then. He also came back to streaming as well. I don't think he by any means is full-time or anything like that, but is playing every now and then. You know, he's still enjoying the game, enjoying StarCraft, enjoying this competitive aspect. I believe he's not dedicating as much time to improving and to practicing like he once did, but still does, you know, want to be involved in the scene in his own way, which we do appreciate. Do appreciate it. Much love to Nice. So now we're getting to our own game 2. And even though Nice isn't a full-time player anymore, he does still threaten some of these other big names, especially in PvP. We've seen Nice take maps off of herO in recent times, for example. That's just crazy. So now we are going to be calming things down to have our initial opener. We have our initial opener. Likewise, Bunny, once again, economic. It does go for a faster CC into a later gas geyser. This is actually very similar to the build that we saw last game. Likewise, the big difference, though, is that it is going to be a Reaper opener this time from Bunny, so he's more concerned with scouting. He does want to try to get a read on what his opponent is up to. I mean, already we had a crazy build last game, rushing into charge into 5 gateways. It was chaotic and it was very aggressive. So Bunny, he's a little bit more concerned and wants to make sure that he's aware of what is going on. Twilight counter opener out of Nice, checking Bunny's vision. Bunny, he did not scout. Complete. Bunny did not confirm. He's forced out. Behind this time, there's no add-on swap. Remember, last game, it was reactored Hellion interacted Widowmine into an attempted mine drop. This time, no add-on swap here. We're keeping the reactor on the Marines, pumping out more and more ByuN. So more Marines on the way. From here, we can go into a Marine drop. True, we can go into like a Widowmine Marine drop across the map, which has been fairly trendy amongst the Korean Terran players. Otherwise, we could just go for a Widowmine drop and just build up the Marine count over time. and preserve them back at home. Bunny does have options. Hallucination does scout the opener, does scout the add-ons. Saw the Widow Mine as well, so nice. He is aware to be ready here for a mine drop. As Reaper does confirm at the Twilight Council, this time Blink. This time Blink is on the way. With extra gateways, and I believe we have a 3-gate Blink setup so far. Now, I don't expect any more than 3. 4-gate Blink can be very difficult to pull off in this map. The reason for this, as you can see, there's no way into the main, right? There's no way to blink from the third base into the main base like you can on other maps. You have to blink into the natural first, so this opener from Nice feels very safe. Most likely shouldn't make a War Prism with this and shouldn't move out across the map, but we'll see. We'll see how aggressive Nice plans on being. Meanwhile, Widowmine drop into the main base. Nice, he's aware. He does respond. Pulls away in time. Oh. So if I'm losing one probe. My time is denied. Oh, losing a second probe as well. So far, acceptable losses here for Nice. So he defends well. He defends, he deflects, he holds on across the map or across the field. Does claim his third. And as you can see here, he doesn't make the War Prism. Observer first. As we mentioned, like, this map just isn't really favored towards Blink Stalker aggression. So no War Prism, just Observers into maybe Defensive Immortal. Nice, playing it safe. And Bunny, likewise, securing himself. Now, the big next sign that we're looking for here for Bunny as he's getting his third Rax is, does he get his third TC or does he throw down 2 more Raxes? How aggressive is he going to be? How committed is he going to be? So far, Nice has been quite adamant with his hallucination scouts. Again, he's claiming his third. Oh, this I was not expecting. Nice, now going for a Dark Shrine. Okay, cheeky maneuver here. Now, this is not designed to end the game or to kill, but it's designed to get some damage done nonetheless. DTs that can be very annoying to deal with. Meanwhile, looks like a prism was made after the Observer. Nice, he's being aggressive across the map. He is applying some pressure, and of course this will allow Nice to warp in DTs across the map. True. So Dark Templar going to be available. I mean, there is a Raven back at home, so unless the Raven moves out to counterattack and to harass, there is going to be detection available here, even without the scan. Now, potentially we could see Nice try to snipe said Raven. We could see it. We already had a volley off earlier. The Raven was repaired. Drop into the main. You can see Nice is not warping in. Just poking on forward. Getting 1, 2, 3. SCL getting it to 4. 4 SCVs going down. Not bad. Oh my god. Jeez. Calm down. Aye, aye, aye. And while Nice is harassing in the main base while he's trying to get some damage done, Bunny doesn't care. He just doesn't care. He just moves out across the map instead. He commits. Raven is with the main army. A couple of hits on the Raven. There's a recall back home. There's a recall. Nice, he commits in with some Dark Templar. Do we get a scan in time? We do. We scan one. The other, oh, gets locked down in the scan range. Very nice response here by Bunny. Cleans up both DTs, loses 2 SCVs. Now he can focus on his main push. I say that, another Dark Templar. Yeah, Bunny, he turns around. He turns around, he races back home, throws CC on location. Bunny, he doesn't keep going. Instead, Bunny, he will defend. And the game will continue. The game will continue from here. So far, this has not been worth it. Oof. As every Dark Templar has fallen, and they've barely gotten any damage. That was a big investment here from Nice, and it just didn't pay off. It just did not pay off. Bunny is in a much better position here, and that is reflected in the supplies. Bunny, he does have the larger army here as a result. The initial harassment just wasn't quite worth it. Bunny, he breaks out. And Nice, he's trying to warp in time. No splash damage. He has 2 immortals, he has some charge lots. Tanks getting position. I believe they're within range of the site defense. Even of the army. Yeah, shield batteries under fire. And just like the last time, ideally Bunny does want to wedge himself in between the bases. Force a worse fight. Nice setting up the surround. Let's go. Zealous from behind. From the south. Stalkers on the right hand side as well. We come in for the full surround. And Bunny, can he take this? He will shut down the Zealots at least. Tanks, they do try to target fire on the Stalkers. They shut down the Zealots, and now we can just stim in. Okay, stims on in. The Immortals are exposed. There are just so many Marauders. And nice, he can't fight this head on. He can't fight this. Not like this. Oh, Zealots do come in just in time. Whew. But GG gets called. Drop into the main base at the same time. Nice, he is broken. And Bunny, he'll break through and take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played, Bunny. He will claim the series, will advance on into the next round. Again, nice. He was trying to be cheeky. Remember, game 1, 5-gate charge. It was a crazy build with a proxy. Did fall in its face. Game 2, TTs also didn't really do much damage, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but both of these initial openers from Nice did set him behind because he didn't do enough damage with them, and they're also delaying everything else. They're delaying tech, they're delaying upgrades, they're delaying bases, they're delaying economy. There are other things that are delayed in favor of taking up in such a way, and it just wasn't quite worth it in the end. GG. GG, well played. Bunny looking solid, did keep up every time, and Bunny does advance on. He will advance on here into the next round, and the question becomes, where are we headed next? Where are we following Bunny, or who are we following Bunny into? Exclamation mark B in the chat to find out. Let's go. Let us go as we do catch up on the bracket itself. We have some updates from the top. herO. herO takes down Steck 2-0. herO, he's waiting in the round of 8 for either Creator or Lemon, a Protoss opponent. Scrolling down, we have SHIN. We have SHIN up against Mute. We have ByuN up against Lunacy. I was very tempted to jump into SHIN versus Mute or ByuN versus Lunacy, as I'm very tempted to cast SHIN versus ByuN potentially in the next round. That is a bit of a grudge match. They do face off very, very often. Scrolling down, we have our next series. Bunny does advance on to the quarterfinals, waiting for the winner of Dark and Arthrox. That is a ZVZ between Dark and Arthrox. Korean Zerg player against Korean Zerg. Dark, he is scheduled to join the military soon this month, in the month of April. Despite that, and because that he has actually missed out on the last 2 KSLs, every time Dark is like, oh, maybe I can play, but like something comes up and he's not able to. So we have been missing Dark in open tournaments for the past month, but he is here, and I believe this time he checked in. This time he is playing against his opponents. So it's been a month, we haven't seen him. Now we can. Now we can see some Dark. We have been featuring Dark in some invitational, some show matches, that is true. This is going to be a rematch. Dark did actually lose to Bunny earlier this week in the Rex April Madness. So Dark, he already had a bit of a rough time against some of the other Korean Terran players. We'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can get his revenge. See if he can bounce back. Scrolling down, we have Cure versus Rebellion in a Terran versus Protoss, and Classic versus Ordinary in a PvP. Shout out to Ordinary, big fan. Ordinary, aka Chance. They are facing off, and looks like we have some updates coming in. ByuN takes down Lunacy 2-0, and again we have some downtime waiting for our next opponent. We're waiting for Dark to wrap up his series, and then we'll be able to jump into Dark and Bunny. We'll get there. We will get there. So for now, we're going to be going on a short break. And when we return, we should have that Terran versus Zerg. Again, that is going to be a rematch. They did face off earlier this week, and again, Bunny was looking very strong and very dominant. At the same time, Dark was looking a little bit out of practice, which makes sense. But Dark, he has been looking a little bit more out of practice as of late, so that did kind of entail as to Dark's struggles earlier this week. But we'll see if he can, again, recover from that. We'll see if he can make up for that. For now, we're going to be going on a short break. Take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and get ready for a night of StarCraft. See you soon. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to our second match of the broadcast. Welcome to the quarterfinals, the round of 8 here of this week's Korean StarCraft League, week number 73. We have our two players. We have our TVZ spawning in the right-hand corner of Starchild. We have our South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran for Team Falcons. It is Bunny. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg. It is Dark. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat, as this is a rematch. If you were watching the CranKy Ducklings earlier this week, and if you weren't, check out the votes, papi. Check out the votes. We were casting the Rex April Madness. If you don't know what that is, the Rex April Madness is a monthly invitational that Rex has been hosting. Rex, of course, is the Taiwanese Zerg player. Last month, in March, he started hosting a monthly invitational, and that has glossed over, that has come over and gone over into April as well with another invitational. And we had a GSL group. We had a GSL group incorporating Bunny and Dark, and they faced off. They faced off a couple of days ago in a best of 3, and Bunny did take it 2-0. Bunny was looking very strong, very intense, very in form, is what I will say, in that previous best of 3, and Dark less so. Now, there's a reason for that. We did mention previously, Dark, he is slated to join the military this month, and as a result, Dark, he has been playing less. He's been playing less, he's been practicing less, he's been competing less. Because of that, he does look at times a little bit more rough around the edges, but as I say that, he did of course play in a couple of invitationals this week. He played in a show match against Clem, he played in the Rex Invitational as well, so Dark has been a little bit more active in recent times, and we'll see if that translates into a revenge match here. All I want to see is a back and forth. I want to see a back and forth. I want to see an ace match. We'll see how they do compared to each other in the rematch here in the KSL. Let's go. Let us go. So now we are going to be settling in. We have our ranks expand into factory. Standard opener here out of Bunny. Likewise, Hatchet Spool out of Dark. Now, what's important about Dark is that Dark can be a very tricky player to play against. Dark can be very aggressive. He can be very dynamic. He can go into roach openers. He can go for a Ling Bane. Oh, sorry. He can go for Ling Queen and Nidus all-ins as well. He can be very aggressive here and also play macro as one drone goes down already. A rough start here for Dark. Ay, ay, ay. That should not have happened. That should not have happened. One drone does fall, so that will slow Dark down early on. That's already a big win here for Bunny. Not the biggest of deals, but a win nonetheless for the Terran. Win nonetheless. Likewise, third base is spotted. It is going to be a standard opener here out of Dark. Bunny is aware, and oh, Bunny is not playing standard. He is going for a 3cc 2-1-1. Let's go. Third command center is on the way. Second, Rax is on the way. What do we see here? Basically, Bunny, he's going to be cutting Hellion production early. Typically, we get up to 6, maybe up to 8 Hellions in TVZ, but here, Bunny, he will be cutting it early. He'll be going for an earlier add-on swap into an abundance of Marines instead, into an earlier stim timing. There we go. Stim is on the way, and this is all in favor of a delayed starport. So the starport and medevacs are delayed in favor of Mass Marine, and this does hit a bit of a later stim timing with medevac support. 16 Marines, 2 medevacs. This does hit a little bit later. Now, because this hits later, because there are less Hellions, it does mean there's a give and take. It means that Dark, he can get away with droning a little bit harder, with cutting links early on, and with spreading more creep, just because there's less to threaten the creep, because there's less Hellions. So there are some pros here that Dark can take advantage of. There are definitely some things that he can do to kind of leverage himself early on. We'll see if he's able to, as Bunny is gearing up towards that same time. But now Dark just spreading creep, amassing out more queens. Dark comes in for a scout, and Dark, he will spot some Hellions back at home, but not much more than that. So far the scout is denied. You can see the Marine is in position to deny the Overlord scout as well. Dark is in the dark, and for now Dark is happily droning, which is fine. Like, Dark, he can drone up to 2.5 base saturation, perfectly safe and sound. Now he does go lair first into Bailey Nest, into Ling Bane. It's still perfectly fine, but my concern here, as we're nearing that timing here, is going to be that stim timing. Medevac production has begun, stim is almost complete, and the bio army is massing up for that eventual move out. Now, this push here isn't meant to end the game. As you can see here, the Bunny, he has a third base, right? It's an economic build, it's very economic, it's very greedy. Third base now getting saturated, but this timing can still get overlords, get queens, clear creep, and can actually get quite a bit of damage done if Dark doesn't respect it. But now Dark is running. At this point, based on the passivity of all these Hellions, he knows, and he confirms. Yeah, Ling does confirm. He is now fully aware of the 2-1-1. It's going to be 14 Marines across the map, alongside 4 Hellions. Ooh, and can Bunny deny the expansion? Can he force a cancel on the 4th base? Uh-oh. What do we have to defend? We have 5 links. Ooh, the links are late. Link production is late here for Dark, but they might still come out in time. Likewise, queens are coming together as well. And looks like the links, they will pop in time to defend. Bunny, he shouldn't be able to force cancel. Does get a second overlord. That will supply block Dark. Oof. Yeah, Dark, he is supply blocked. Bunny stims in. Creep is spreading. Bunny has to respect that. Lings, they attempt to surround. You see Dark ready for a dive if at any moment Bunny overextends. Safety bailing's on the way. Bunny, he goes to the queen. Up, gets one. Yeah, one queen goes down. And And so far, these are good trades here for Bunny. He doesn't kill the fourth, though. That's what's important. Dark, he saves the fourth expansion. It would have been disastrous if that had gone down. Whew, but Dark holds. Dark holds, Bunny retreats. From here, he is saturating and establishing his third base. He's throwing down extra Raxes. We do have the armory on the way for 2-2. The Hellbats as well. And Bunny, he will reinforce. And again, he continues to apply pressure to the fourth base. Now, there's barely any creep here, which is a little bit concerning. Baneling speed should finish up in time, though. And Bunny can threaten the base, but Dark does have the tools he needs here to defend, to survive. Comes down to the engage, though. Baneling speed is revealed. Bunny, he's aware. Baneling runway on the way as well towards the natural. Bunny going for the expansion. Back at home, there are some reinforcements. Nice control here, nice reaction. Baneling's dealt with. So far, only 2 SCV kills. Yeah, and the damage is not good enough. Dark, he evacuates the base. He knows he cannot save it. He cannot save it, not anymore. The base does fall. Massive pickoff. And Dark's now in a rough position. I mentioned earlier that losing the fourth base would be brutal, and it is brutal. Dark is re-expanding towards the south, towards the right-hand side. And Bunny, all he has to do is rotate. The win condition now for Bunny is make sure that Dark never expands. If Bunny can knock down the fourth base time and time again, then Dark, I mean, he's just going to be outscaled in this game. Now, thankfully, there's a bunch of creep here slowing Bunny down. Likewise, there's 2-3 active tumors here on the right-hand side as well. This is all going to buy time here for Dark. As Bunny rotates, Dark going for a massive counterattack. Instead, he gets spotted. Dark is spotted. Bunny, how does he react? How does he respond? Back at home, he does have some defenses. Bunny moving in. Again, Lings, they are spotted. Hellbats, they stay behind to protect the tank. But you can see how far behind the tank has a siege because of all this creep. Yeah, the tank is so far behind. Drops the keeping tabs on everything else. Lings, they attempt to run by, but last Bunny is back at home. Oh, you can see Lings, they attempt to surround, but the Hellbats are in position. Likewise, Lings, they get caught out, and Dark, things are looking a little bit tough here for him. I don't know if he can hold against this. Queen goes down. Gets a Queen. Ling Runby comes in, gets dealt with by reinforcements. Bunny still just encroaching on this base. There's a lot of Ling Bane waiting for him, though. Again, the tank is still quite far behind, and Dark, he evacuates. Like, once again, he knows. Like, he does kind of see the writing on the wall here that he will be broken, so Dark, he evacuates. Lings are coming from behind. They do catch reinforcements, not bad. And some of the bio gets caught out. Drop into the mineral line. Dark is keeping up, catching SCVs, not bad. And he forces Bunny back. He forces Bunny back home. Very nice run by Lings. They bust into the bases, into the main, into the natural. This is all adding up. Ooh, getting 10 SCV kills. The tank is still fortified, though. Likewise, Lings, they do borrow. They borrow in the mineral lines. And finally, Dark is finding damage. Going for the CC. Oh, no! Oh, he gets a kill. Yeah, killed, not a cancel, not a lift. Massive pickoff. And Bunny's committing. Ultras have arrived. Banelings, they crash in. Ultra shuts down the tank. It's going to be 13 SCV kills. The more bio gets caught. The more bio gets caught. No splits. And Dark has momentum. This is his moment. He does have momentum. He's still lacking upgrades. Bearing in mind, he does not have 3-3. These are 2-2 Ultras. Kind of splitting, just finished. There are a decent chunk of Marauders. But Bunny forced to defend. Whew, and Dark, now he can saturate. You can see him here. He does resaturate. He's heading back over. Oof. Forcing friendly fire. Ultras are going to go down. This is a bit of an overextension here from Dark. Lings, they do hit the third base. Likewise, forcing friendly fire. 25 SCVs. Both players are hurting, but what's important here is the economy. The economy here is solid for Dark. If Dark had lost his expansion, different story, but he saved it. He saved the base. Dark is on 5 bases. He holds. All it took was one run by. One run by is all it took for Dark to distract Bunny. And in given time, Dark, he will exceed Bunny in supply. Right now, the supplies are neck and neck. I would say the army supply is in favor of Bunny right now. That is true. A lot of it is in medevacs. But that's only because the economy has yet to fully kick in for Dark. He needs a little bit more time, and he'll be the first to remax. So Bunny's all in. At this point, Bunny, he's all in. Either Bunny breaks Dark here and now he dies trying. 9 shots. Decent connections on the Lings, but there's no ghosts. Like, the problem here is that there are no ghosts. Like, there's no easy way to deal with these ultras. Fungal goes off, and the ByuN army gets caught, and Dark, he holds, he shuts us down. Whew. Again, Bunny was all in. Bunny, he doesn't break Dark. We have more reinforcements on the way. They're trying to move in. Oh god, jeez, the parabomb, oh my god, the parabomb catches out Bunny. That's what 4 medevacs going down. And now you can see the economy kick in. Now you can see Dark skyrocket ahead. Whew. It was intense, man. Things were looking bleak for Dark, not gonna lie. They were looking bleak, but this is also where the map comes into play. Welcome to Star Child. Again, multiple attack paths, multiple avenues of attacks, run-bys, and counterattacks. This is where Bunny did struggle to defend. And this is Bunny's final push. There's no 4th CC. There's no 4th base. There's no longevity here for Bunny. It's all or nothing. Fungal's coming in. And again, Bunny, he was so close. He was so close to breaking Dark. It was looking very impressive up until that one Ling run by. Because if you remember, it was a Ling run by that's also distracted Bunny and allowed ultras to catch him out in the center of the map. It also allowed Lings to hit the 3rd base. It led into, I believe it was 25 SCVs. It was like 25 SCVs going down, and of course a kill on the CC as well. And that did kill Bunny. And now Bunny, at this point, he's hoping for Dark to make some mistakes. If he doesn't split up his army well enough, if he overextends, here we go, Fungal pops off once again, the Fungals! Army gets Fungaled, ultras that have in, there's a good amount of marauders here, but the ultras they can tank, they can hold their own. And that was the final army of Bunny. He's down to almost nothing. Oh, another parabomb this time, but no! This time Bunny does pull away. And Dark, GG gets called. Dark, he will take game at number 1. Ooh, GG. Again, a very intense game here, and this also again shows how important some of these maps can be. We speak about this all the time, but maps, they do kind of dictate what builds and what styles are stronger, what builds and what styles are weaker. Specifically, this hyper-aggressive, hyper-sort of style is more effective on smaller maps. I'm referring to Whispers of Gold, even maps like Ultra Love, Ley Lines as well. Speaking of, we have game 2. On these larger maps, that's where Zerg is more favored. The reason for this is because Zerg players have more breathing room. They have more breathing room to be able to buy time to mass up a greater army, to be able to counterattack, to spread more creep between yourself and your opponent. So it's these larger maps where Dark can thrive a little bit more. But now we're loading into a smaller map. Up next, Ultra Love, and this is where a lot more pressure is going to be on Dark. This is where Dark has to tighten things up, especially in the early game, because now there is less room for error. There's less breathing room here for our Zerg player. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself, representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player himself from South Korea, leading the series 1-0. It is Dark. Here we go. Whew. Okay, and I'm very curious to see if Bunny does open 2-on-1 again. Does he go for a regular 2-on-1? Does he go for a 3cc 2-on-1? We have seen many a Terran player be very successful with these earlier stim builds and earlier stim timings on maps like Ultra Love. And we've seen them be, of course, less effective on those larger maps instead. So we'll see how Bunny does mix it up. Likewise, because the map is so small, it is more common to see Zerg players open Roach. Like, Roach-based openers are a lot more common on these smaller maps, just because Roach-based openers are safer. They're safer, they allow you to defend against early pushes that much easier. Likewise, deal with early tank pushes as well with the Ravagers. So, as a result, that is a little bit more prevalent here on Ultra Love as well. We'll see. We shall see. Likewise, I mentioned at the start of the series how Darky is willing to go for his own all-in, so that's also going to be a factor. I mentioned how aggression is favored on Ultra Love, and I was more generalizing how, like, okay, that means like these timing attacks from Terran are stronger on smaller maps. That is true. At the same time, things like 2-base all-ins, 3-base all-ins from the side of the Zerg player, Roach heavy play, Roach base all-ins, Link Queen Hydra all-ins as well, they also can be very effective on this map. And Dark, he is willing to embrace that sort of side of him. And now that he's ahead in the series, I wouldn't put it past him, to be honest. I would not put it past Dark to be more aggressive here and be more assertive in Game 2 on Ultra Love. Let's go. Here we go. So is Bunny sponsored? Yes. If you... it's in the intro. It's in the intro. Wait, the other one. Hold on. So it's right there. He's on Team Falcons. He's on Team Falcons. It's written out of game as well, written in game. Bunny's on the team. Dark is, I see some people asking about Dark. We tried to make this clear last year. Dark, he left Talon Esports back in November of last year. Dark is teamless, has been teamless the entire time because of military service. Like just to reiterate, Dark, he did state that his military service is this month in April, which is why he left his team. Which is also why we had our farewell show match for Dark as well. This was like 2 weeks ago at the start of the month. This has already been public information for quite some time at this point. But for now, speaking of, there it is, 360 2-on-1. So this is our big speculation at the start of the series. It was whether or not Bunny would go for another stim timing. The answer is yes. So the answer is he is going for the same build 2 games in a row. I would say that this build is stronger on Ultra Love than it is on Star Child. So we'll see if Dark can keep up. Behind this, Dark has yet to throw down any tech. It does seem like Dark may be going for a Link Bane again. As he does pull out of gas, doesn't pull back in. So it does feel like Dark is not going to play Roaches here. But we'll see if he pulls back into gas and whether he does go for a lair first again. As it's still a little bit early for tech. I'll even say poke in. Oh, there it is, a Roach Warren. So as we mentioned, so it's going to be a 410-ish Roach Warren timing for Dark. As we mentioned, on smaller maps, Roach play is more common. It's more common, that's why we brought it up at the start of the game, what we expected, and Hellions, they get one drone in between the bases. Yeah, one drone does go down, but this is more in line here, and this is just a really safe way to play. Now, it's a safe way to play, that is true, but Dark will have the option to cut workers. If he does cut workers at 2.5 or 3 base saturation, he can try to go for a Roach all-in. That is going to be available here to Dark in a couple of minutes. We'll see if he goes into 1-1 upgrades. For now, getting a 4th expansion. That should just be for Larva for the time being. Dark, he's still droning up. And Bunny, he's still yet to move out here for another 30 or so seconds, just waiting for the medevacs before he pushes. When it comes to Hellions, he did lose one, so this is a big pick-off already here. One Hellion went down. Like, the Hellbat supports can actually come into play in the mid-game. We saw it last game as well, where the tank was protected so well here by the 4 Hellbats. Now down to 3. Dark, he's making his safety roaches. 7 roaches in production. I say 7 get able to 10. We have 1-1 upgrades on the way. Now, one of the big signs here for the all-in is going to be whether or not Dark gets into +2 range or +1 melee. All of it is also, I imagine, going to be determined on how much damage he takes. Bunny, he's stimming in. The roaches are out. Roaches at patrol. They're rotating in. Oh, doesn't get the Overlord. Yeah, Bunny pulls away 1 second too soon. 4 HP on the Overlord. Whew. Dark's holding. Dark, he's holding on. Roaches are in position. And you can see that this army has kind of less bite to it now. Like, Roaches are very tanky. There's Transfuse as well. So unlike against a Ling Bane army where Bunny can trade against the Lings, here, less so. So he can't easily trade against the Roaches. More roaches on the way. Dark, so far, he's not droning. He is not droning up. He's not saturating his fourth base. He's making more roaches. And Dark, he may just go for an all-in here with 1-1. With the 1-1 upgrades, I mean. 7 overlords on the way. Dark gets supply blocked. Drop into the main base. Into the main base is deflected. And Dark, once he breaks out of the supply block, what are we going for? I'm leaning towards roaches. I'm leaning towards the all-in. Up! Bunny does pull away. Yeah, there it is. 8 more. 8, 9 more. Nothing but roaches here from Dark. Dark, he is not droning. Oh, this is late. This is not intended. You can see here at roach speed has begun. Link speed has begun. Now he starts droning. Dark, he realizes that he cannot go all in. Did forget roach speed, and now he's got some droning to do. Oh boy. Okay. Never mind. So Dark, he does start droning again. He's a little bit middle of the road here. There we go, starts up 2-2. So Bunny, he has time. He has time to build up, to fortify himself. So the problem here is that Dark is maxed. Dark, he's maxed out, but he can't really use this army right now. Again, the lack of road speed, I believe, was not intentional here. So in a way, this is kind of wasted supply for the time being. Now he's taking up into infestation pits. Basically, this could have been earlier drones. This could have been earlier drones, earlier workers to get faster saturation, to get into faster tech and a greater economy. Now Dark is maxed, and now Dark, he should be trading. He needs to start trading, and this has been giving time for Bunny to build up. Now, against a roach heavy composition like this, Bunny, he doesn't want to be active on the map. Not like this. And Dark is pushing in. He has a massive army. There are 3 tanks, but Dark is coming in from behind. Yeah, from both ends. Comes in for a surround. And tanks are going to be dealt with. There's just not enough support. The tanks, they all go down. Without tank support, Bunny, he cannot hold on against the mass roach. And Bunny just caught out in the open. And he's going to pick up, get the hell out of here. He needs more tanks back at home. And now is the time for Dark to commit. And Bunny, he has nothing. Bunny, he has nothing left here. He has 1 tank. Dark, he's trickling in. Okay. That 1 tank putting in some work. At the same time, though, Dark, he's getting to the mineral line. SCVs are going down. We see Bunny trying to pull off a defense. He does pull the boys. And it looks like Bunny, he will barely hold on for a little bit longer here, but there's still more roaches coming in. Oh. Last tank on sieges. Roaches from behind. Bunny, he bleeds out how many? He bleeds out 14 SCVs. Oh, God. 14 SCVs go down. Aye, aye, aye. And Dark can keep this going. And again, a lot of this came down to Bunny's push. I do feel like because Dark didn't hit his own all-in timing, Bunny probably assumed that Dark was droning. He probably assumed that Dark was just droning up, so he thought it was safe to push. We knew that Dark, he wasn't droning. It was just a late push because he was waiting for his upgrades. So Dark, everything just lined up for him. He was able to catch Bunny off guard with his pants down. And Bunny has to rebuild those tanks. So rebuild that tank army. Until then, Dark is safe. Dark, he's safe to drone up a little bit more if he wants to. Dark, he can tech up into Hive, into Adrenal, into Lurkers, or into Ultras. There it is. It's going to be Ultra Tech here from Dark. Like, Dark is very safe. And this is where Dark really hits his stride. Like, I will say that Bunny, his strengths are usually his timing attacks. Oof. Which we saw in the last game, which we saw in Star Child. Like, that is where Bunny does, like, really hit his stride. And that's not happening here. He's already missed it. So Bunny, he has to be more defensive, and that's just not really how he operates. That's just not how he operates. Ooh, there are infestors all over the place. They're ready for their fungal growths. Bunny, he's not ready. Here come the fungals. Yeah, massive connections. Does land 1. The Biles up. Oh my God, Biles connects. And Dark, he's getting his revenge. Another fungal comes in. Bunny may have taken down Dark 2-0 a couple of days ago, but here Dark, he is looking to claim his own 2-0. Get his revenge, bounce back. And again, game 1 was so close. Like, game 1 was just on a knife's edge between the 2 players. here in game 2, it's a lot more in favor of Dark. Like, Dark, he's a lot more comfortable here. Again, Bunny, he misread the situation. The initial push did seal the deal, and Bunny's been behind since that failed push. As Creep is getting out of hand, getting out of control. This is also because, if you recall, it was a 2-on-1 opener, not Hellion. And likewise, Bunny is now stuck defending. He can't be active on the map. And Dark, he just has to ensure that these bases don't get fully operational. And Dark, he rotates. So he sees the expansion, he's aware of it, he's moving in. Now respects the army. At the same time, run by here towards left hand side. Threaten. Pushing on the right. Oh. Now, Bunny, he has been able to remax, true. He has been able to remax. Bunny, he doesn't have a bank to work with in the winner as much as Dark, but he does have a threatening army. No ghosts yet, unfortunately. Still stuck on the Marine Marauder tank. Yeah, and he's gonna get caught out here. Tanks are going down. The problem here is it is a mid-tier army. Bunny just doesn't scale too well here. Say that does get on top of the ultras. Okay. Does get one. Still a rough trade for Bunny though. And he will at least shut down these roaches. So Bunny, he's holding on. He saves and preserves his 4 bases. He's rebuilding. Those were expensive losses for Dark, especially losing all those ultras. We have 5 more ultras on the way. Bunny, he has to get some damage done before those ultras really come online. Behind this, still no Ghost Academy. No Ghost Academy yet. He just has so much freedom here to just build back up and remax. He's got his 5 ultras. He has 3 infestors. Oh. Bit of a misrally. Using an ultra. Now this is a bit of a concern just because Dark, he hasn't taken extra gases. There are no gases here at the 4th, at the 5th, at the 6th base. So losing these ultras, like, if he loses too many of them too quickly, like, it is hurting him. Ay, ay, ay. He has to be careful here. Likewise, Bunny, once he has some more resources, he needs to get into his own Ghost Academy. Into his own Ghost production. But now he is just focusing on purely maxing out, and he's gotten there. Surviving. Dark is down to 2 infestors. Oh yeah, one of them got caught out. He has limited fungals. Dark moving in. This time he has no surround setup, especially with the infestors, I mean. Oh, but Ultras, they knock down the expansion. Yeah, they bust into the mineral line. They force Bunny all the way back home. Ay, ay, ay. And Dark is just buying more time, building up a greater bank. Dark just waiting for his moment. Getting ready for another run by once again. Things they will cripple the economy. And this is just forcing Bunny all in. He's just forced into an all in. Now Bunny, he does have a super maxed army, so in a head-on fight, Bunny, he can still pull this off. But the problem is that we don't have head-on fights. Like Dark, he's just counter-attacking time and time again, catching reinforcements. Worst case scenario for Bunny is that these ultras make their way into the main and make their way into the production. And that would just be a kill shot here if Dark can get there. So Bunny forced the wall off. There we go. Darky does consolidate everything. The ultras are racing back. There are still only 2 infestors, 6 ultras. And they can try to flank this. Bunny's got 3-3. There we go. Darky commits. Does commit in. Surrounds the initial marauders. Yeah, this first flank going to go down. Massive fungals as well. There's no escaping this here. There's no escaping this. There's no tanks either. There's no backbone to the army. And Darky will solo this up. This is like a better example of like the soup does lie, where one army is not quite like the other. Without ghosts, like this Terran army can't really threaten all these ultras. Marauders are like a band-aid solution, but they don't really scale well once the ultra count gets up to this many. It's unfortunately just a very mid-tier army here for Bunny. And Dark just has to take it slow. Just take it slow. Wait for Bunny to move in. Likewise, Dark, he does collapse. Once again, a decent surround or decent flank. The Bio army does slip away, but the tanks do fall, and he can only camp for so long. As Marines are going down. And GG gets called. Dark, he will claim the 2-0. Dark, he will advance on to the semi-finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Dark, he will claim the 2-0, and Dark will advance on to the next round. Congratulations. Congratulations here to Dark. He does get his revenge, as he did go down previously to Bunny a couple of days ago. Now he bounces back. Does bounce back. Catching, I thought Dark retired. If you haven't been watching StarCraft as of late, you might not be familiar. Once again, to reiterate, Dark, he did say that he was going to the military this month in April, but Dark has been still going for he's been still competing in invitationals. He was invited to the Rex April Madness a couple of days ago. He was also invited to the Enki Pro Series like 2 weeks ago as well. So he's still been playing, and also the Pixel Festival. Dark, he has been a little bit out of practice, as of course, you know, military is on the horizon, but he still does play wherever he can. Here we go. Yeah, the meme. Yo, did Rainer retire? Did Bunny just retire? Did that just did that just happen? True. We have clowns in the chat. True. I think this just in. I think Cyril also said he was. I think he's gonna become a Portal 2 pro gamer. I think. And he's going to be playing with Rainer as well. Yeah. Portal 2. True. Hi. Haha. True. Hold on. As we are going to be setting up, we are getting ready here for our next series. Now, herO versus ByuN is about to begin. herO versus ByuN is going on in the upper semifinals. I feel like it's on me to... Do we jump into this? 0-0? Hold on. We're getting ready here for our next series. This just in, herO just retired. That's also why he just joined Twisted Minds. True. Hi. That's why he joined. Let's go. Did Light retire? Yes, confirmed. I retired. That's why I'm only a caster now. True, true. Smoge. But here we go, spawning in the right hand corner of Amygdala, we have our South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the red Protoss, the red Protoss himself from South Korea. It is herO for Twisted Minds. And we've made it. We're here in the semifinals, the upper semis. Dark, he is waiting for his next opponent. He's waiting for the winner of Classic and Cure. So until then, we can indulge ourselves in the upper semis. Predictions in the chat are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Let's go. Let us go. It was a fake out. Dark 500 IQ. I don't think it was an intentional fake out, but it all did kind of line up for Dark. That is true. I will say that. The big brain plays. If I go for a late push, he's gonna think I'm not pushing, and then he'll move out. I mean, that's essentially what happens, I guess. So here we go, as we are setting up. Double gas opener here out of ByuN, going for a faster factory. Likewise, herO himself going for his own standard opener. Also, best of luck in the chats. As we get into this, of course, this is herO's tournament. herO, I believe this statistic is still true. I'll have to double check. But from last I remember, herO, he has won 100% of KSLs this year. Let's double check that. But I believe he's won every single Korean StarCraft League in 2025. Does he have a 100% win rate? Let's see. Korean StarCraft League 2025. Oh no, sorry, my apologies. That was true until last week. Okay, so he has like what, 90% then? Did he not play last week? He didn't. Okay, so there is one KSL that he didn't play in, which was the previous one, KSL 72. There was no herO, and as a result, herO didn't win. Cure won. Okay, so Cure's got his one win. So technically, if I want to correct that, I can say that herO, he has won every KSL that he's played in. There you go. There you go. We'll see if anyone can break that streak. We shall see. As we do have our Twilight Council opener. Back at home, going to Blink. Likewise, ByuN across the map, going for his own 1-1-1 follow-up. And Hallucination will confirm. Does confirm the timings, does confirm the later command center for ByuN. Double Reaper moving in, and herO, he's in position. At least at the natural. Likewise, in the main base, we do have some SimCity. Yeah, no way into the main. Oh my god. ByuN almost getting caught. Almost. Raynor didn't retire. He lost in the... Yes. He's lost in the rift. In the void. He's been streaming a lot of League, right? Like, I want to say he was live like yesterday or something. Raynor. He's deep in the rift. Deep in the rift. I think my genuine concern for Raynor is that he is playing in Stars Agora. I hope he's in form for Stars Agora. I hope he. This is when we like introduce. We have like Warcraft 3 mod, like Warcraft 3 Evolution. We have StarCraft Evolution. This is when we introduce like League Evolution into StarCraft. So then like Raynor, he can play like Lulu or Teemo. I don't. That's all I got. That's Mr. Yi, true. There's Mr. Yi, and there's Wayne. Or Vayne. Or Vanya? There's a couple of heroes out there. Yeah, whichever one Raynor mains, that one. And then he can play that against like Terran. Oh god. Then he'll be back. He'll be in full force. For now, Mind Drop is attempted. We do see ByuN, he does zip in, does zip away, is unable to unload, but does escape here with them. In fact, just barely, as it takes a lot of hits. A lot of hits to the face. Kai'Sa? Yeah. I don't. So now we're calming things down. Initial blink opener into a third base into his own charge and +1. So just standard play here out of herO, just taking a more defensive route, defensive role. Nothing crazy out of our Protoss player. It is ByuN being the aggressor instead, who still trusts going for drop play. You have the Raven on the right hand side, drop on the left hand side as well. The drop is very low in HP. I would be more comfortable if ByuN tried to make it back home, but I guess still has this to potentially threaten these bases. Meanwhile, herO looking for a way into the main. Does make in. Runs into a tank and blinks out. It's just no way in here, but he does get a depot, not bad. Oh, depot's getting low. Depot will survive, and here he does blink out. Auto charge into the main. Again, for now, just harassing each other, keeping tabs on each other's bases, getting 3, getting 4 probes, 5 workers, 6. ByuN, calm down. Very nice damage. 6 probes do full. Raven survives. Full HP, can always go back in. So very nice counter damage here from ByuN, as herO is claiming his 4th, soon to be. Oh, as I was praising ByuN, but the Raven does fight over the army. Raven does fall. Here he has not much less to worry about. herO pushing in. ByuN behind this, he has yet to really commit into a 3rd TC. It does break out, catching out a Stalker. It's going to be on herO to slow this down. Meanwhile, drop into the natural. herO not in position. Probe's going to be falling. herO just trying to slow down the main army. Does get a Marauder. Force the defensive warp in. 1, 2 Marauders go down. A very nice trades here by herO. He holds the line. Oh my god. herO trading very nicely here. Getting 16 Marines, 2 Marauders for just 3 Stalkers. Just shuts down a tank. Oh. And ByuN, he's run out of steam. Like this move out was designed to move out across the map and punish the 4th or punish the 3rd. But ByuN, he bleeds out everything. Like I was saying that herO, it's on him to slow down the push, not stop it entirely. That was crazy. That's pretty insane. From here, he's taking his 4th base. Colossus production has begun. herO looking very in form and very in control. Yourself a Widow Mine. Yourself a Mine bleeds out 2 Stalkers. And I would say that ByuN is behind here. He's behind, he's in a bit of a rough position, but how do you recover? How do you bounce back and maybe even take a lead? Goal base. Goal base is on the way here for ByuN. It is a little bit drastic, it is an extreme decision here, but if he can get away with the gold, then he can skyrocket ahead. So the gold is on the way, as herO takes his own 4th. And we'll see if ByuN can maintain this gold. So let's push. Ooh, bleeds out a medevac. Medevac goes down. Colossus are getting in position. This is a terrifying army here for herO. He can completely just collapse on this army. ByuN, I don't know if he should be here. The mine shots. They take down the sentries, only the sentries. ByuN, he has to cheese it, has to get the hell out of here. Races back home. He bleeds out everything. Widow Mines go down, and ByuN, I don't see him saving the space. It's not going to happen. Zelda come in from behind to take down the tank. ByuN did overextend. GG gets called, and herO, he will take game number 1. GG. Again, a very strong start for herO. I mentioned before that ByuN was pretty committed when it came to his push, when it came to his move out, and I was shocked to see that herO, he made a stand at that ramp. It was incredible just how much value he got out of his stalkers on top of the ramp, sniping tanks, sniping marauders, sniping marines, and barely losing anything. That did end up forcing ByuN to go for the goal base, which was a risky maneuver, but it was necessary in that kind of game state. He needed something to go his way. Unfortunately, he couldn't really hold on to the gold. He tried to push out, tried to be aggressive just to keep herO across the map, but as we saw, herO, he was far enough ahead where he could just easily deal with the army. GG. GG, well played. With that, herO takes the lead, and now we're jumping to game number 2. And we'll see. We'll see if ByuN can bounce back and force the ace match. I'm most curious as to what map we're going to be loading into. We'll see which, if we load into a smaller map or a larger map, something more aggressive, something more macro. Let's go. Meanwhile, I have confirmation Inu, the Korean caster, is covering Kira versus Classic. That is still ongoing. I believe they're in game 2 or game 3. So Dark is still waiting for his opponent. Ideally, it lines up in such a way that we cover the upper semis and we also cover the lower semis as well. We'll see if it lines up though. That is the ideal. New passion project for the Duckling. StarCraft 2 League Evo confirmed. Oh no. Oh no. That's gotta be a thing already, right? As in not League, but there has to, I mean, I guess that's kind of what Warcraft 3 is, Warcraft 3 Evolution. But like StarCraft 2 Dota, right? Like StarCraft 2 like Dota Evolution, like that's got to be a mod, right? Question mark. But again, that's kind of like what Warcraft 3 Evolution is, I guess. Just because you have your heroes, and they are like the core of the Warcraft 3 army. Kind of what it is. I saw Artosis playing some Tempest Riding. Looks legit fun. Yeah, it looks fun. It looks fun. We might do a Tempest Rising stream maybe tomorrow. Might do a stream. Basically all the I say all. I would imagine like most of the like content creators out there probably got contacted by those behind working on Tempest Rising. I know like Pig's already made content, Artosis, Wardy. I think Wardy did a stream yesterday. Winter did some stuff. Like everyone's covering it. Looks fun. It's a kind of game that I don't think I would get into multiplayer wise, but I'm excited for the campaign. I'm personally, I'm very much so an RTS enjoyer. I play a lot of RTSs, especially growing up, not just StarCraft. I never really got into too much competitive play when it came to other RTSs like StarCraft, but definitely have a lot of love for games like Tempest Rising. So I'm excited to indulge in like the single player like campaign and stuff like that. That's definitely up my alley. So I might do a stream, maybe in a couple of days. But until then, we're jumping into our next series, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of El Dorado, we have our next game. We have our South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing his new team, Twisted Minds. It is herO. Here we go. He's really heroed it up. Yo, remember when herO said it's hero time? And then he heroed all over ByuN? That was crazy. Oh my god. I remember. As ByuN is going for his own double gas opener. Double gas back at home. So once again, something more aggressive. Last game, this led into a more committed drop across the map, which didn't really get much done. We'll see what ByuN leads into this time, as herO will confirm. I think I played Warcraft 3 in the StarCraft 2 engine. I loved playing Warcraft 3 back in the day. Back in the day, that was what we would do at school. Back when LAN was a thing, feels StarCraft 2, man. But during like computer lab sessions or something, or like during like free periods, we get on our school PCs. We'd share around like a USB with Warcraft 3 installed. And play like 2v2s or 3v3s. Or like FFAs. Ah. Those were the days. Good times, good times. And I never got into Dota though. I never got into, like, we have a lot of PC bunks here, and there'd be a lot of people playing Dota. I'd be like, oh, that's cool. Like, I never. I remember trying to play it once, but I was very confused as to what was happening. Like, for those who remember playing old school Dota with like the hero selection and like the lanes and everything. Like, I mean, when I say Dota, I mean Dota in Warcraft 3. Like, as someone that's never played it before, it's very daunting. Like, I didn't know what to buy, like, from the shop. Like, I didn't know how to build a hero. But yeah, for now, settling in. We are going to be settling in. So far, we do have, and again, initial double gas into initial reverse scouting. So far, Hero is keeping up, denying any kind of scouting information. We do have Hero going for a second choice, going for a Twilight Council into how many gateways? Oh my god, 4 gate blink? This is not what I was expecting here. Okay, now big scout for ByuN. ByuN, what does he see? He does see extra gateways on the way. He does confirm the 4 gate setup. ByuN sees everything, and we'll see if Hero commits. Now, something that I've said before, I think even in the previous series last night, 4-gate blink is a rarity. Okay, 4-gate blink is a rarity here on El Dorado just because you can't blink into the main, right? There's no way to blink into the main base. You can blink into the natural, of course. The natural is large, that is true, and maybe that's the goal here for Hero, is to break the natural instead. But the mobility and the kind of avenues of attack are quite limited here on El Dorado. So this is a crazy build here from Hero. Wait, no blink. Wait, what? wait a second. There's no upgrade. What just happened? Am I crazy? Yeah, Hero, he opened up Twilight Council. He opened up 4 gates into a robo, into expand. Like, we're not. Okay, like ByuN, he's getting ready. By the way, he's like ByuN is setting up. There's no upgrade. That's not intentional. We got slow lots warping in. we got slow lots on the. Let's go, Pappy. We didn't get anything. Pappy, what's that? I just realized. Okay, let's go. So slow lots are moving out. Hero, he does go for the gold. There we go. Now we have blink on the way. 5-minute blink timing after the 3rd. After a Twilight Council opener. I'll be honest, I don't think this was intentional, I'll be honest, but shit, let's go. We got this. Okay, let him cook, Pappy, let him cook. It's Hero versus Hero right now, and Hero's winning, and Hero's also losing. There's there's a lot going on. ByuN does fan out with his, of course, Cloak Banshees. This is where Hero is actually in a bit of trouble here, as he does not have blink to keep up with said Banshee movement. So far though, ByuN, he's being very passive with his units. He's respecting Hero quite a lot. I do think that ByuN could be doing quite a lot here in these mineral lines, but alas, he's again playing it safe. As ByuN backs off, and Hero, he claims the gold. Okay, let's go. Hero, he defends against the Banshees. The Banshees, they get nowhere near the mineral lines. They get dealt with in the center of the map. And Hero, he will take said gold base. Meanwhile, ByuN back at home again, he was getting ready for something that never came. Remember, he scouted the 4 gates, like he scouted the aggressive build. And now he can soon move out, as he also expands and breaks open the southern half of the map and expands towards Hero. Oh, let's go. We're about to get crazy. Oh god. So we're going to be expanding towards each other. The rush distance by ground is going to be very short between 3rd and 3rd base. Charge is almost done. It's another it's another fake out. True, Kappa. If herO loses this game, it's also a fake out. He did it just to bump up ByuN's confidence. Go ByuN. It's all fake outs. Oh, we just pulled the boys. Yeah, ByuN just pulls the boys, going for a 2-base all in. He does not expand towards his opponent. He just sends it towards his opponent. Charge is done, though. Charge is done. Ooh, a couple of cells do go down. Here, he's now aware of what's going on. Again, this takes so little time to get across the map. We get some okay force fields. Tanks, they do siege up, though. And Chargers, they get nowhere near those tanks. Has to pull away. Immortal goes down. Massive pickoff. Getting one. There's 2 Immortals left. Remember, the longer this goes on, the better it is for herO. herO, he needs another warp in. Skill not a cancel on the bunker. He abandons the base, he backs off. And again, time is on hero's side. Just has to play it slow, play it safe, get extra warp ins. Blink is still halfway done. Wait, Jesus Christ. Still only halfway done. Am I crazy? Did herO start Blink earlier than cancel Blink then get charge? That happened, right? I swear he started with Blink. Am I crazy? I swear he did. That's why I did a double take when I saw that it's still not done. Oh, as the prisoner gets caught out, Immortals as well. Massive pickoff. herO getting caught. Pulls away. SHIN chat. Yeah, here he canceled Blink. Yeah. I thought so. That's why I did a double take. I just assumed that it was done. So you're trying to bait out those mine shots, getting on top of the tanks, getting one, getting both just barely. Zealots from behind. Looks like herO, he will barely hold on. Yeah, he holds. He does hold. Behind this, ByuN, he's rebuilding SCVs. He's resaturating on 2 bases. And now he expands. Okay. The transition out of the 2-base all-in. Let's go. Now, what did ByuN lose? ByuN, he lost 14 SCVs in the process of this all-in. But herO, he also lost 13 probes in the process of the defense. He also lost the expansion, more importantly. So the game is stabilizing. We're equalizing things. ByuN taking his 3rd. herO takes his own 3rd as well. ByuN is still being active. Oh! Takes down one of the Stalkers. ByuN, he shouldn't try to push up this ramp. He can threaten. Cannot dive in. ByuN is forced back. We have the Bay on the way here for splash damage. Get into Colossus, into Disruptors. herO is taking up. Likewise, so is ByuN. ByuN also working towards Ghosts. So after an intense, chaotic, and very, very shaky early and mid-game, I should say early game, we're now settling into the mid-game, we're calming things down, getting up to 3-base saturation from both sides. Yo, we got some DTs waddling in. Scans are soon to be available here. Yeah, there is a scan. There's the first scan. At the 3rd. Prison towards the natural. Warping in another DT. And so far this is worth it here for herO. Like, yes, there are scans, but ideally in this kind of economic game state here, ByuN, he wants the mule. Getting more CVs. 4 more CVs. 4 more workers. herO double expanding, getting his 3rd base, now getting a 4th base behind this as well. Whew, we can take a breath. We're taking a breath here, calming things down, both players building up. Now, with this game state as well, because of herO's expansion pattern, he is going to be spread a little bit more thinly than ByuN, so draw play can be more effective, or at least multi-pronged aggression. We'll see if herO can keep up. I mean, that's why it's so important that herO keeps vision here on the southern half of the map. We have observers everywhere covering the main attack path. Here on the left-hand side as well, and another observer towards the south side. So 3 observers covering everything down here. He sees the army rotation. herO, he should be keeping up. ByuN setting up for a push. Here's ready. Here is some already. EMP's coming in. Decent EMP on the Stalkers. Nice force fields. Another EMP here on the sentries. But here he does hold on. Does defend the ramp. ByuN, he cannot brute force this. Has to pivot away. Does pivot back. Likewise, here we're just building on more Colossus up to 3. Second Robo's on the way. That should be for disruptor production. So here he's getting a little bit out of hand here when it comes to the composition that he's working with. ByuN at the same time just now starting up his Viking production up to 4, soon to be up to 6. So he's building up his Viking count. He's getting ready. ByuN still reinforcing, still amassing. Here he does spot this, taking it slow, just calming down. And for the most part here, he should just be waiting for ByuN to push into him. Should just be taking a more defensive stance, at least for now. Here come those disruptors. He's getting up to 4 Colossus, which is the standard nowadays. Just because of how heavy Marauder based this army is. So okay, 4th Colossus has arrived. And ByuN, he just hasn't really been able to gain much ground here yet. Not yet, not so far. Both armies are maxing. From here, ByuN should soon be working towards Liberators. Liberator range, Fusion Core. And that should be the next step. But before we get there, herO, he's maxed. His max is moving up, baits out an EMP. Now collapsing in. That's still a lot of Vikings. Pulling back, playing it, so at the same time as they do hit the natural. Vikings, they get 1. Oh, barely not. They almost get 1 Colossus. herO trying to zone away. I'll say don't get in. ByuN, he defends. More disruptors on the way. And still no Liberators. Still no Libs yet. I'm looking for an opening. Oh! Going for the dive. Doesn't get the disruptor. Waiting for the Novas. So far, still only 5 disruptors. They're not all with the main army. Now cutting back. Nova goes off. Ooh, doesn't connect. So far, good targeting. Yeah, good target firing here on the disruptors. The Colossus are going to be going down to the Vikings. All the Colossus should fall. Yeah, the final Colossus goes down. But the ground army might still be too much. There's still 2 more disruptors. Show us the Novas. Oof. Brutal connection. 17 SCV kills. And here he doesn't break ByuN, but he does break the economy. Like 17 SCVs going down. ByuN, he does fall far behind here in the worker counts. Heavily muling as much as he can. Gee, the mule hammer was real. It's a lot of mules. And here he's been freely expanding. Like, because the armies have been clashing here towards the south side, there is no pressure. There's no pressure on herO. Like, he is freely just taking more bases, mining, taking gases, just freely saturating. There's just nothing hindering herO. So he can afford to trade. Even to achieve just double expanding. Going for the gold. Now he's able to rebuild his Colossus. ByuN is down to 0 Vikings. So Colossus are the way to go. Sorry, ByuN down to 0 Vikings, what I have to say. Oh. Now the Colossus are coming. ByuN just being outscaled here. Is down 40 supply. Tries to move in. We have what? We have 4 Novas available. Nova's going to be going up. Brutal connections. Yeah, this time they do connect. Oh, they shut down the ByuN army. There's still 2 Novas available. They're catching out more ghosts, and GG gets called. ByuN is broken, and herO, he will claim the series at 2-0. GG. GG, well played. herO, he does claim the series, does advance on. Congratulations. Oh, he does claim the series, and again, we do see that. Do you see that ByuN, he just wasn't able to keep up. Unfortunately, he was just being kept busy back at home. He couldn't be active across the map, but herO, he was just freely mining all over the place, taking base after base after base, expansion after expansion. GG. GG, well played. herO, he does take it. What I will say, though, was a very chaotic game. If you remember, herO, he forgot his initial Twilight Council upgrade. Likewise, ByuN, he pulled the boys into a 2-base all-in. He didn't kill herO. The game kind of reset. It was like a really awkward game state where both players expanded and both players had to build back up. Was quite awkward. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. And with that, herO does advance on to the grand finals, and we here to determine who will face off against Dark in the semis, as I believe we have the answer. I believe we have an answer here. Exclamation mark, be in the chat to have a look at the back yourselves, as we do switch on over, and here we go. herO takes on ByuN 2-0 here in the grand finals. Here waiting for the winner of Dark and Cure. Cure takes on Classic 2-1, and now we have our lower semis. Let's go. Dark versus Cure in a ZVT. I believe another rematch. Now, I mentioned before that Bunny did take down Dark 2-0 a couple of days ago during the Rex April Madness, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Cure did something very similar in the same tournaments as they were in the same group. Let me just double check. As yes, so Bunny took down Dark 2-0 and Cure took down Dark 3-0. So Cure, he had an even more dominant performance. Now I bring this up just because Dark, he already got his revenge, right? He already got his revenge against Bunny, at least in this tournament, in this weekly. Can he do the same against Cure? Can he also beat him in the rematch, or will history repeat itself? Again, I would say that Dark versus Bunny was very close and very intense, especially in game 1. Game 2 less so. Game 2 was a little bit more unorthodox, and I mean, again, I do recommend the series, do recommend watching and tuning in. Here, Cure, likewise, is also very timing oriented. We'll see what maps we load into, and we'll see how our players do embrace some of these maps, some of these smaller and larger maps as well. We'll see. And so we are setting up our vetoes and getting things underway. Catching up in the chat. ByuN still traumatized by the Dragoons, the banter. True, true. Good times, good times. Okay. What's surprising for this tournament? You can help support this tournament. Oh, true, true. Exclamation mark KSL, exclamation mark KSL in the chat. You can support this. Sorry, I was just reading the chat. Just catching up. The prize pool this week, I believe, is 400 USD. 400 USD. Again, if you want, you can support the KSL via Patreon. Patreon is the place to be. You have the command in the chat. The KSL is funded by the community for the community as well. And again, nowadays, community support and community funding is that much more important in today's kind of StarCraft landscape. So shout out to Chicken Man and Dave Testa for making this event a reality. I do know that whenever support does dip down a little bit, I know that Dave does put in a lot of his own money to help support the event and help keep it going. So much love to Dave and Chicken Man. And again, do check out the Patreon if you do want to help out with the Korean scene and with the KSL. As currently this event is a bi-weekly. It's all on Wikipedia. Otherwise, we're going to be going on a short break. And when we return, we will have our semifinals. Videos are still underway, so it's going to take a little bit here before we jump in. Otherwise, take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and hydrate all of your hydras. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with Dark versus Cure. See you soon. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the lower semifinals here. The semifinals of the Korean StarCraft League week number 73. We're nearing the end of the broadcast. We have 2 series left. We have the semis and then the grand finals thereafter. We already have herO waiting for the winner of this series in the next round. And who will face him? Who will join him as spawning in the bottom right hand corner of El Dorado? We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Blue Zerg. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we jump into our fresh best of 3. And we'll see how this story concludes. We'll see who faces off against herO in those finals. Will it be our Terran? Will it be our Zerg? Who will it be? Up to you to decide. Now, as a reminder, there is a little bit of a recent history between the two players. Cure did recently face off against Dark earlier a couple of days ago. If you missed out on the series, I recommend the VODs. We did cast it here in English, of course, on the CranKy Ducklings. VODs are on YouTube. We casted the Rex April Madness, where Cure did take down Dark in a best of 5, 3-0. It was a dominant performance there by Dark, but it's a new day. It's a new day. It's a new tournament, of course, as well, and Dark, he has already gotten his revenge over Bunny in this tournament. Can he do the same over Cure? I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. As Dark, he will very quickly mine and open up Gasless. Let's go. Now, if you've been watching Dark for any period of time, you would understand, you would know that Dark is very fond of these gases openers. Now, this opener is very map dependent. Very map dependent here. It is going to be a hatch pull hatch opener by Dark. No gases whatsoever. And why can he do this on El Dorado? Well, the reasoning for this is because it is that much more awkward and difficult for the Terran player to harass this base with Hellions. At the moment, all you have to do is just defend the ramp. Defend the ramp, wall off with Queens, and you can deter any kind of Hellion aggression, and your third base is safe and sound because your opponent is fully walled off by all these minerals. Now, once these minerals get mined out in the center, then Cure can start to rotate and try to harass his third base, but at the same time, there's a reason why Dark does leave this area mostly closed, as Reaper does pick in, gets 1 link, gets 2 links. Oh my god. Nice value here from the Reaper already, getting 2, getting 3. This is getting a little bit out of hand. 3 links do go down. But what I was getting at is that there's a reason why Dark doesn't fully mine this area up. That is because one queen is enough to wall off this location. So if Hellions do threaten this space, you can just pull the boys, mineral walk them past the queen into your natural, and the queen will defend. So again, it is very easy to defend with pure queens on 3 bases on El Dorado in ZBT. That's why no link speed. That's why no gases. That's why no link speed. So you can cut corners. This is the case on Abyssal Reef, on Neon Violet Square, and on King's Cove as well. So there are certain maps where it is more viable to open up castles like this. Other maps where it isn't. Like, you would never do this on like Ley Lines or Whispers of Gold. There are certain maps there where it is less viable and more risky, and yeah, you can't get away with it. Ultra Love as well. That's another good example. So Ultra Love, Ley Lines, Whispers of Gold. You'll get punished quite hard if you try and attempt this. So if you're out there, if you see this build, you're like, yo, I want to play like Dark, just be aware that, you know, there are some maps where it is easier than others. So just be careful out there. PSA. Meanwhile, of course, it is going to be a Roach follow-up, and as we mentioned, we're walling up. We're walling up this ramp, walling up this location. The reason why it's Roaches, as we mentioned, there is no link speed, and because link speed would be so late anyway, you just skip it. You just skip it entirely, go straight into Roach base openers. Now, this can lead into a Roach all-in, like what we saw against Bunny. True, it could lead into a Roach all-in, or this could just lead into Roach, into the mid-game, into Ling Bane, Roach Ravager. Dark, he has ways to approach this, and he can adjust accordingly. This can also lead into Roach, into Ling Bane, into Fast Hive, into Ultras. You know that SHIN is quite fond of that. Anyway, Hellions, they bust in. Queen's out of position. Well, Queens are out of position. We have some Slowlings that are trying to keep up, and it looks like the Queens, they will keep up in time. They will shut this down. The Hellions, they don't kill any drones. Whew, they get away. It's almost disastrous there from Dark. Again, he was caught out, but the punish was not there. Punish was not real. Dark, he holds, he defends. Meanwhile, Cure going to be expanding towards his opponent. He will be rushing into that gold. Now, we were talking about what you can do as Zerg player on El Dorado. True, and now you can just rush into this 4th base with also a gold-based mineral as well. What you can do on El Dorado from the Terran side of things is A-Raxing. Because you can expand towards your opponent, and especially in this kind of game state, we can see here that bases, they're in the same screen. Like these 2 bases, the 3rd base for Cure and the 4th base for Dark, they're within the same screen. Pushes from Terran hit so hard on this map. So Cure, he has the option to commit into an 8-Rax, into a 3-base all-in with a boosted economy thanks to the gold. That's the other big factor here, is that because of the gold minerals, 8-Raxes hit even harder than previously, as you can get away with a lower SCV count and with even more army and more Marines. Hellions, they poke in. They get 1 drone so far. We're just trying to keep up. And we'll keep an eye on Cure. For now, he's getting up to 5 Raxes. Everything's looking normal so far. And the other reason why this does kind of facilitate for A-Raxes even more is when you A-Rax, you don't take your gases. And fun fact, there are no gases here. Like, there's no gases on this side of the gold mineral patch or the gold base. So, I mean, we weren't going to take gases anyway. It's Banshees, they do get into the mineral line. The Spore is not done. A drone's getting 1. Should he get 1? He gets 2, he gets 3, he gets up to 5, 6. Oh my god. 6 drones going down. Likewise, Spore not ready here at the natural either. Ooh, and Dark is getting torn apart. It's getting 9, 10. Oh my god. 10 drones go down. The Banshees, they all get away. And we're going for the all-in. It makes sense. Dark, he's lost far too much. There's no way to macro out of this. We're going for the all-in. Nidus is on the way. 1-1 is on the way as well. It's going to be all or nothing for Dark. We'll see if he can break Cure before Cure can really get this going, because Cure is not all-inning. He only went up to 5 Raxes, and he will expand and get a 4th base. So Cure, he's going to take a more macro approach instead. Dark is not. Now, does Cure make the same mistake Bunny did, which is pushing into an all-inning player? Cure, he needs to set up defensively with more tanks. Tanks are going to be paramount so far. Cure just keeping Dark busy. Oh, catching out roaches. Denying mining. Slowing Dark down. And again, Dark, he hasn't made a drone in quite some time. Dark is looking to max out and push with pure roach with 1-1. There it is, Nidus into the main. Cure, he does notice. He does respond, he does react. As he reacts back home, he does expose his base. Just being pulled apart here. Overreaction from Cure. He deals with the Nidus, but it didn't matter because Dark, he was going for the kill, going for the 3rd instead. So far, he denies the 3rd. He will force a cancel on the board CC as well. Does force a cancel. This is okay damage, but this is still nothing critical. Dark needs more. Does need more. Cure, he re-expands. He re-establishes himself. We have 3-3 on the way. Sorry, 2-2 on the way. And Dark, he does make 1 drone. He's going for the gold. Now, technically, Dark, he doesn't need to drone, but he can still maintain himself and get into a longer game by taking this gold. All he has to do is transfer. If he transfers workers from this regular base to the gold base, then he's basically playing with an increased economy already. So true, that is a way for him to just keep going. And to get into a longer game while still staying on a low drone count. As Dark is maxed. Let's max out with pure roaches. Cure, he needs some tank support. Has to pull back. Oh. Banshees, they force a cancel. These Banshees have been doing a lot. They've been cracked. They've been crazy. Cure, he's almost maxed out himself. He's getting there. I'll say attempt to connect in the mineral line. So far, what I will say here is that Cure, I mean, this is where the soup does lie. Cure, he does have a more efficient army than his opponents. This is purely Roach Ravager. This does not scale amazingly into a longer game, into other maxed out armies. Does bow down one of the tanks. Ooh, he does rain down here on the Medivacs. Gets 1. 1 Medivac goes down. Oh. The splits though. Calm down, Kira. Oh my god. Likewise, moving in, we'll bleed out 6 SCVs. But again, Kyrie's out trading Dark. Biles going for another tank. They do take down one of the Banshees. Very nice Biles. Catching out a Banshee, a Medevac, and a tank. Meanwhile, Go Base is getting saturated. Dark, he still hasn't droned in like, what, 3-4 minutes? Like, he's making one drone at a time every now and then. With no proper saturation. Still just have it fixated on Roach Ravager. I'm mixing some Banelings. Baneling speed is almost done. So he's turning this into Ling Bane Roach Ravager. This is going to be a better army. So Dark is refining himself. Base is under fire. Does rotate. Oh. Quite catch the Viking. The expansion is going to go down. Let's pick up here for Cure. Dark waiting for his upgrades. We have Adrenal on the way. He's got his Hive. He does try to commit in. Tank is on siege. Bars don't quite connect. I'm loving the spread of wiles that Dark uses as well. It's such a wide spray. And that's how he's able to catch Medevacs every now and then. Now going for the tank. Tank will fall. Biles, they do connect with the army. But Curie stemming in. He's trying to go for the kill. Tank later siege. Dark, he does break out. He's breaking through this. Takes out all the tanks. Yeah, 3 tanks go down. Curie going to be forced all the way back to his bases, to his mineral line. And Dark has to keep going. He has to keep pushing. Doesn't quite get in. Not yet. Oof. Nice Biles. Once again, they get another Medevac. Another Medevac goes down. Oof. Barely on another. Reinforcements on the way. The Medevacs! Get out of here! Oh my god! They almost all go down. And Dark, he doesn't break Cure, but again, he gets almost every Medevac. That was like, what, 5-6 Medevacs going down? And the CC! And with that, Dark, he's done it. He's done it. He's broken the back of Cure. Takes down a base. Takes down all the Medevacs. That should not have happened. And Dark, he can keep pushing. Behind this, the northern bases are left untouched. We spoke about this during the herO series against herO versus ByuN. Similar setup because of all the aggression that's happening down here towards the south side. Curie just had no breathing room to harass elsewhere. He's now trying to move out, but at this point it's too late. At this point it's too late. Oh, no shot. Okay. Whew. He does get away. Calm down, Doc. Calm down. Aye. Curie gets out, getting his third up and running. It's on Cure to just defend and stabilize. Again, Dark is free to just mass expand. Take more bases. Starts moving in. Once again, ooh, catching out some stray units. Yeah, Curie's catching strays. Oh. Yeah, once again on the Medevacs. Once again, Dark popping off. And thankfully, Dark is taking. What's up next? Ultras. Ultra Cabinet is done. We have Kindness Plating on the way. Infestors as well. Viper's now coming into the mix. Going for the power bombs. Again, dealing damage over time. Catching out more Medevacs, forcing these splits. Forcing these spreads. As both Liberators do fall. Again, very nice Biles here from Dark. He Biles like no other. He's crazy. He's cracked. Again, it's still keeping up now. Cure, he does re-expand and he does retake these bases, and it's on Cure to take the gold at this point. Like, at this point, he will have to try to work his way towards that gold base. Infestors, they're borrowed. They're tunneling in. do see Dark commit. Again, here come the Fungals. Fungals, they graze the army. He just has enough here. He just has more than enough here to overwhelm. Lingbane rolls in. Another Fungal connects. And Dark, he has done. He has broken his opponent. GG gets called. Dark, he will take game number 1. He will take a lead in the series. Whew, GG. A very, very intense game. Very back and forth. I would say that initially Cure had a stronger start compared to Dark. But something that really did set the tone or set the pace was the Nidus play. If you remember, the first Nidus into the main base didn't get up and running, but it forced a big overreaction. Cure, he sent everything back to defend against it. Likewise, he was denied the gold base. Dark was able to gain some momentum. Despite that, I would say that we still had a back and forth afterwards, but Dark, he was able to very accurately just kind of transition out of pure Roach Ravager into Lingbane Roach Ravager. He may be losing bases, but he was able to just catch out Cure time and time again. Obviously, the most impressive thing by Dark are his Biles, right? His Biles, he shouldn't be killing Banshee, shouldn't be killing Medevac, shouldn't be catching these stray units, but he does. Like, he's able to just have some really, really chaotic placement with his Biles that make things chaotic for his opponents, stress them out, and actually connect and get some crazy connections. Again, there was that one fight where he killed like 6 Medevacs. It was insane. It's crazy. GG. GG, well played. Dark does take a lead, and now we are jumping into game number 2. And again, this is something that's no other player, I would say, can do. Even players like Raynor and Serral, they never pull stuff like that off. Part of it is also because they almost never play purely Roach Ravager like that. True, whenever, especially Serral, whenever he opens Roach, it's only a stepping stone to get into Lingbane. So they often don't have those kind of compositions, so that's maybe one of the reasons why we never see it from them, but at the same time, that's it. That's what we love by Dark. That's what we love about it. He's unique in his own way. And here we are spawning in the right-hand corner of Ultra Love. We have our South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg leading the series 1-0. It is Dark. And spawning in the top, on the bottom left-hand corner, we have his South Korean opponent, the South Korean Terran, the Blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Cure. We go. Does Killing Rocks on one side drop both? If you're referring to take these 2 ramps, for example, if you knock down on El Dorado, if you knock down the rocks here, it knocks down like both towers here. That is true, but not on the other side as well. You have to take that down separately, which is what happened in that last game. Was able to destroy both sides. But yes, on El Dorado, the 2 towers that are here at the ramp, they share HP basically. They share HP. That's what you're referring to. It's maybe an easier way of explaining it. But we're now getting into game number 2 here so far. Standard openers. Well,
paused.
Never mind. Welcome one and all to Ultra Love. It looks like something has come up. Hopefully everything's okay. What I was about to mention here is that this time Dark is most likely not going to go for a gasless opener. Here on Ultra Love, it is less viable to get away with a greedy build like that, so we should be seeing a more standard, I mean, we already see it, gas here from Dark, which we did not see last game. Oh, never mind.
Game
yeah, we're back. We are back. So this time Hatch Gas pull out a Dark standard opener out of our Zerg player. Again, gasless builds are not viable here on Ultra Love. At least that's just me, or just observer into Korea. Oh, as we do see a delay on the 3rd base, Dark, he does come in on the right hand side. If you see some frame drops every now and then that is latency. It does happen every now and then, unfortunately. I can turn on my VPN to try to fix that. Sometimes it's a little bit worse than otherwise, but it's just routing. Basically, it's just routing to the Korean server. The routing is sometimes not very efficient, so because of that, that's why you see some frame drops every now and then. I'll say it looks fine here, but I think I know what you mean. Like I think it's like every now and then it's like a frame drop here and there, maybe every couple of minutes. But yeah, to fix that, you can just use a VPN. It's a bit of a hassle, but we can use it if need be. Now then, we're settling in. It is going to be a my apologies, it's going to be a 1-1-1. 3CZ 1-1-1 here by Cure, going for his add-on swap, going into Hellion Banshee. Meanwhile, Dark, despite not going gasless, he still will open up Roach. And again, Dark, he's a bit of a Roach boy. He does enjoy, or it is his preferred style of play. Not saying that Dark can never play Ling Bane. He can 100%, especially on some larger maps. He is more than happy to play Ling Bane, but we did mention earlier that on smaller maps, Roach play is more accepted just because Terran players can be more aggressive on this map, so Roaches just keep you safe in the early to mid game. If you remember, in the Dark vs Bunny series, Dark also played Roach against Bunny as well. He turned it into an all-in, if you recall, so we might see that here as well. But again, we expect to see Roaches on maps like Ultra Love, on Whispers of Gold. Those are the kind of maps we do expect that on. El Dorado as well. True. Secure is claiming his third. Banshee is on the way. Banshee does move out. Cure, he has yet to really confirm what's... there we go. He does spot the Roaches. He is aware. As usual, Roaches do move out. Remember, this is only a handful of Roaches, 8 Roaches in total. They're rallying across the map. This is just designed to pick off some key units, just designed to trade, not designed to kill. As the Banshee does respond. It's Hellion. Picks up Hellion, not much more than that. Again, Dark just keeping Cure busy as he is droning. And we'll see if Dark does decide to saturate his bases or not. So far, Dark pulling back. Drone moving in, getting a drone. Rotates over towards that linear third. Likewise, Banshees, they got 5 drone kills so far. I mean, the Banshees in game 1 as well were very successful. They got so much done. That's why it was a stronger start for Cure. But I say 5, getting it to 9. Ay. 9 drones do go down, but Dark, he's taking up. We have the Infestation bit on the way. That's going to lead into the Hive, into Hydroden, into potentially Lurker play. Okay. So Dark, based on this tech path, it does look like Lurkers. And that should lead into Nidus Lurker play as well in a later game. For now, Cure just saturating. Cure just saturating his bases. Getting up to 5 Raxes. Nothing crazy, nothing wild. Does take his gases as well. If he skipped his gases, we might see an 8 Rax. But for now, everything's looking as it should, which means Cure should expand from here as well and get a 4th CC. So just building up towards a longer and later game. Dark is fanning out. His Hive is halfway done. And again, Dark is just being the defender. He's just being the defender at this point. While he takes up towards Lurker Tech. He's still getting there. It's going to be up to Cure to try to slow him down. And he does take down some tumors here and there. But still no major economic damage. Trading its Roaches. Roaches a 1 a trade. Dark is being active. He's being active and knocking down some towers, keeping up with drops. Viper production has begun. Now we're expecting a lurker den at this point, but we haven't seen one yet, which is interesting. We're still sticking with Roach Hydra for the time being, Roach Hydra Viper, which is a bit of an older school composition. He does move out on the right hand side. Dark is keeping up. He has no Ravagers, bear that in mind, so he doesn't have as much capability to move in here. Base goes down. And the tanks have just so much more power behind this as well, just because there are no piles. And I'm concerned for Dark, I'll be honest. Like, Dark, he's maxed out, but I'm not... There's too much confidence in this army, is what I will say. Here come the Vipers, though. Vipers, they move in, they have Ducks, sorry, they Blinding Cloud. They cover two of the tanks. There's only one tank behind this, so Dark, he will hold. It's a bit of a messy hold, but a hold nonetheless. Ducks the tank, and we'll clean everything up. Just on all the tanks, we can see here he tried to keep rallying in, but barely doesn't quite have enough. He has to pull back, has to pull away. Again, Dark, he lost mainly Roaches in that trade. He preserved his Hydras. Hydras were preserved. Here he has to rebuild, now claiming his 4th base. And now we have the lurker den. Okay, so that was just for defense. Just to hold, just to survive. Now we're taking up with the lurkers. And again, can Cure break Dark before lurker tech? That is still the question. A lot of this defense is going to come down to the Vipers. There's 2 Vipers, full of energy. Hydras, they lunge in. Lunge forward. Likewise, nice abduction. He gets 1, he gets 2, he gets all 3 tanks. Yeah, once again, the tank count is being reset. There was just nothing here to really support, to protect. Curie still tries to stim in that 1 tank, doing what it can. Decent shots. And Curie, he's not stopping. he just keeps going in. Yeah, Dark coming in for the surround. A couple of Roaches that do get behind the army. They're going for the tanks. First tank goes down, and Dark, he will hold. He will shut this down completely. And Cure here extended, and Cure is being shut down. Dark, he took down Bunny earlier, and he's looking to do the same to Cure. May have struggled in the Rex April Bandits, but no, here he is popping off. He's doing what he does best. He's playing with his Roaches, of course, of all things. Cure being overly aggressive, he gets shut down. And now there's only Medivacs. Only Medivacs survive. There's 3 tanks behind this, but barely any support. Dark, he lunges in, gets on top of the tanks. And Dark, he's done it. He's done it. He breaks through, takes down Bunny, takes down Cure as well. 2-0 as Cure's trying to make a stand here at the natural, trying to make a stand at the ramp, but there's nothing left. There's nothing left. GG gets called, and Dark, he will claim the series, will make it to the grand finals to face off against herO in the finals. This is 2024. Crazy. GG. GG, well played. Dark, he does claim it. Again, a bit of a more unusual style is what I will say. Dark, he was playing more defensive, looking to tech up into lurkers, but he delayed his lurker tech to make sure he was safe and secure. And it was a close fight. Like, that first assault at the 3rd base was not the cleanest defense from Dark, but he did barely hold on. I mean, again, the Vipers were a big part of that, kind of excelling or taking the role of Ravagers in a sense. Moving in, able to abduct, able to Blinding Cloud, dealing with the tanks, and without any tank support, you saw that Cure, he just could not break Dark. This also shows, I feel like this really emphasizes just how safe you can be if you do open Roach. Going into Roach base play and Roach base openers, like they're just so tanky. It takes so much to break through that. It's such a beefy and meaty army, and it is quite difficult to break a defending player if they're playing that kind of style. And I feel like Darky did a great job at showcasing that here. Of course, it does snowball into lurker tech later on, but really it was Cure being, I would say, overly aggressive, right? Overly aggressive, pushing a little bit too hard, pushing a little bit too much into the Roach Hydra army. GG. GG, well played. Dark, he does hold, he does defend, and with that, Dark does make it to the finals, where he has his next series ready here. His next opponent is going to be herO in those finals. Let's go. Let us go. be Dark vs. herO. And again, Dark vs. herO, this is such an iconic series and such an iconic match. If you're familiar with the online tournament scene, with KSL, with ESL Open Cup Asia, ESL Open Cup Americas as well before that, we have seen these two face off so many times. I would say even more than Clem and Max Packs. Like Clem and Max Packs, they're like the more modern version of herO and Dark, as they've played so often throughout the history of modern StarCraft 2. And they do often trade back and forth, but I would say that in the past year, herO has the edge. herO, he does have the edge here over Dark, again, like just in recent months and recent year, but that doesn't mean that Dark can't threaten him. Now, I did mention earlier, I mean, again, I didn't expect Dark to make it this far. I was talking earlier how Dark was not looking too amazing this week when it came to his performance in the Rex March Madness, but here he's been looking very much so more comfortable, more in form, more in shape. Been looking good. Here we go. Here we go. Vetoes are underway. Pretty good bracket. Yeah, always happy, always. Let's go. It's Dice Ray Swarm. Oh no, have you been dabbling in random recently? Esther Hunted Swarm. Oh no. Not like this. For now, though, it looks like we're going to be going on a short break. So short break here, short break. When we come back, we'll have our next series. We'll have the grand finals right after this short moment with the Brutal OST. See you soon. See you soon after the break. welcome back everyone, welcome back to the grand finals here of the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, week number 73. A return to form, a return to a better time. Oh my god, as I say, blast from the past, a finals match that we haven't really seen regularly in quite some time. So we are here, we are back, and spawning in the bottom left hand corner we have the best Zerg player in all of South Korea, the Red Zerg. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right hand corner you have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the best Protoss in all of South Korea and arguably in the entire world, representing his new team, representing Twisted Minds. It is herO. And you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Best of luck in the chat as predictions are open for the next minute or so on who you think will claim the series. Coming into this, herO, I mentioned this stat before, but herO, he has won 100% of the KSLs that he has signed up for. At the same time, Dark, he's on his redemption arc right now. Dark, he was able to take down a Bunny 2-0, Cure 2-0, very impressive results. I was favoring both Bunny and Cure against Dark just because of recent results, but Dark, he was able to bounce back, he was able to prove his worth here and make it to the finals, and we'll see if he can go even further than that and even take down herO as well. Let's go. Already Dark has performed beautifully in this tournament, but can he go the distance? Can he go all the way? Can he bring it home? For now, we're settling in. I do have our hash gas pool, Unnatural Natural out of Dark. Welcome one and all to Starchild. Starchild is one of the larger maps in the map pool. Very large map, long rushes inspired ground. We have plenty of bases to take as well. On the flip side though, this is less turtley, less defendable as there are multiple avenues of attack as the game progresses. Rocks can be knocked down, avenues can be opened up, and the map is more open than other maps like Abyssal Reef, like King's Cove. We'll see if we can get there. We'll see if we can get into a longer game stage. What I will say is that Dark versus herO is usually a short series. Like, we can get through a best of 5 in like 25 minutes. It's like we can blaze through a series like this real fast and real quick. We often see a lot of aggression and some more quirky builds from these two players whenever they face off, partly because they are very familiar with each other. Mind games come into play, and like fake outs and all-ins or fake all-ins or just crazy builds, crazy styles. We do see a lot of aggression typically between these two players. We rarely see longer and later games between Dark and herO. It is a rare sight. For now though, we're settling in. And the map itself does lean towards longer and later games. We might be able to get into a macro game, we'll see. For now, a little bit early to tell. We're just saturating, droning on up, taking our bases. Likewise, back across the map, herO is getting ready for his expansion. Stargate opener into a third base. Should be Oracle, but we'll see if herO does open up Void Ray instead. We'll see. We'll see. So it is Oracle opener from the side of herO. Lings, they do poke in. Oh! Poke in, they back off. No major damage, but they will get a scout. They will confirm the Oracle. So Dark is fully aware of what's going on. Likewise, back at home, he is just droning, just saturating, building up his queens. And settling into the mid game. Settle in. Again, it's going to be on herO to find some damage here, moving out with the Oracles and with the Adepts. Likewise, is on Dark to keep up. Adepts say threaten a shade into the main. Ling's a bit out of position. Ling's going to be going down. But the spores are done in time. Alas, Ling's aren't able to keep up, and herO, he cancels the shade. Does cancel, gets into the mineral line, going for the drones. He gets one so far. Stasis goes off. 1, 2, 3. Drones going to be falling, getting up to 4. Can we get up to 5? Can we get up to 6? Can we? No, he cancels the shade once. This is too much. This is far too much already. This is game-ending damage. 9 drones, 10. No, 10 workers go down. Stasis trap going to be going off once again. This time only on 1 drone. Thankfully not on the Lings. Otherwise that could have been game then and there. But this is still brutal. This is still just far too much. 11 drone kills. Ay, ay, ay. And the Oracle is still alive. The Oracle gets another drone. Clutch transfuse saves the drone. Let's go. We transfuse. Saves the worker. But that is brutal damage. From this point forward, Dark is behind. Dark is behind. herO has a very comfortable lead here as he was able to get 11 drone kills and all 6 lings. This also means that there's nothing to punish, nothing to counterattack and hit the third base, and herO's not done. herO, he did open up triple Oracle behind this, +1 and Blink, Forge on the way, Twilight Council as well, and herO, he's going for more economic damage for more drones. Gets 4, gets 5. Oh, takes a lot of hits there on that first Oracle, but he does get away. That's going to be 16 kills in total. That is a full mineral line of worth of workers have already gone down. As Dark, he does catch some more tumors. No more drone kills, but the last 3 tumors do go down. And I mean, again, this is standard. This is like a standard setup here from herO, but because all that damage done early on, like Dark, he's not ready for this. Dark, he's got 8 lings. And FC tried to shade past. Link trying to keep up. Last 6 at FC do threaten the mineral line. They pick off more lings. And they're getting to the bases. And once again, cancels the shade, getting up to 4 drone kills. That's what, 20 in total? Yeah, 20 drones have gone down. Oh god, that's it. 21, 22, 23. Ay, ay, ay. 24 drones go down. And again, this is just standard play out of herO. This is just a standard setup, standard build. He's now working towards Blink and +1. He should be building up his Stalkers back at home. He did recall the Adepts. The Adepts didn't even go down. They survived as well. So herO, he is very safe against a counterattack. A Ling run by won't do anything here at the third base or even at the natural. And Dark, he has to make a choice. At this point, he has to make a decision. Does he be hyper greedy? Does he try to drone up and get into a longer game? Or does he go for an all-in? And I feel like the all-in has to be the answer here at this point, as he sustained so much damage. He is getting a 4th expansion, but you can see he's not even at 3-base saturation. You can see he's still on 9 workers here at the third base. He's cutting workers early. Stasis about to go up. Ooh, takes down the Queen. Going for another Stasis. Just getting more economic damage, 9 mining time. Damage that Dark cannot afford. Dark, he's droning. Dark, he's droning up. He's trying to saturate. Oracle is still moving the bases. herO moving in. herO moves in. Trades against the Lings. Storm is on the way for herO. And herO just has to play it safe. At this point, he just has to play it safe. Just pick up a couple Lings here and there. Like, there's nothing pressuring herO from, like, going in and picking up, like, 1, 2, 3 Hydras every now and then. Like, he doesn't have to be hyper efficient at this point. Stasis goes off in the mineral line. The Oracle survived, got out of there. Catches out most of the mineral line as well. And herO, he should be working towards that Storm timing. Basically, by the time Storm finishes alongside Charge, it's going to be a death blow of an army here that herO is just building up over time. As he warps in more High Templar, more Zealots. He's up against a Ling Hydra, so he doesn't need Immortals. I think Storm is going to be the end-all be-all, and here it comes. Here comes Storm. Storm is done in 2 seconds. And how many High Templar does a herO have? Yes, 5. 5 High Templar, 5 Storms. Stasis goes off. Army's moving in. And what is the answer to these High Templar? There's no Banelings, there's no Banelings, there's no Roaches, there's no Lurkers. There's a first Storm. There's a second. And we have 3 Storms left. 1 High Templar goes down. Nice target firing. There's a third Storm. There's a third high energy High Templar goes down. Nice target firing there out of the Dark. Again, Dark fighting as hard as he can, trading as efficiently as he can as well, but it's still not enough. As herO, he will break the 4th. 4th base is broken at this point. More reinforcements on the way. herO, he blinks in. That was a bit of a bold blink here from herO. Bleeds out a couple of Stalkers, but it's fine. It's fine. He has enough anyway. GG gets called, and herO, he will take game number 1. GG. A solid game there from herO again. As a reminder, he killed how many? Was it 24, 25, 26? 26, I think. Around 26 workers went down after the early game aggression. To be fair, that was after the first wave of Oracle harass, first wave of Adept harass, then the second wave, then the third wave as well, but the damage built up over time. Again, it was around 26 workers. It was insane how much damage went down. On top of that, all the stasis traps as well, and Dark, he did die to the harassment essentially. Yes, it was the storm timing that finished him off, but it was the lead up to that storm timing. It was the non-stop Adept and Oracle harass that did seal the deal, that did end up pulling Dark apart. And Dark is going to have to tighten things up here to keep up with herO. We do need some cleaner defense, otherwise herO is going to get out of hand again. And I believe we can. I believe we can get there. I believe Dark can have a cleaner and more stable early game. We're shaking it off. We're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Up next, Amygdala. Now, Amygdala is another large map of the map pool, long resistance by ground. Aggression is not as favored on this map. I'm referring to like all-ins and timing attacks. Harassment is still very much so viable, of course. And this also means that hero's going to be a little bit safer if Dark does attempt a counterattack, does attempt a push. But here we go. We're getting into game 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala. We have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, down in the series, but it's a best of 5. We have plenty more games ahead of us, plenty more games to come. It is Dark. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Twisted Minds, leading the series 1-0. It is herO. The best Protoss and best Zerg player in South Korea. They're now facing off. And for the most part, Dark, he was stuck being the defender in the last game, but what I will say is that Dark, he thrives when he is the aggressor, when he's forcing the Protoss to react to him instead, when he is dictating the pace of the game. That is when Dark really does hit his stride. We'll see if he can get there here in game 2. For now, Hatch Gas Pool. Standard opener out of Dark, once again forcing the unnatural natural. It does settle in. Likewise, herO back at home, going for his own gate expand as well. Just getting into our initial game state. And again, welcome one and all to Amygdala. Amygdala is a very large map, large rush distance by ground. There are some interesting features about this map, which also I would say make it more defendable and more late game oriented or mid game oriented. One of the big reasons, or one of the big factors and features, is the attack paths. There's one attack path towards the south side, which is covered by the Zelnaga tower, and there's another attack path towards the top side, which is also covered by the Zelnaga as well. And that's it. Only 2 attack paths, north and south. Because of that, it is easier to see an attack coming and easier to slow it down as well. Meanwhile, the center of the map is fully walled off by these rocks, by the giant tumors as well. In a later game, when this area opens up, then there's more attack paths, right? Then you can like rotate a little bit easier. You can go back and forth and hit multiple bases and be more active on the map. But in the early to mid game, when these rocks are a factor, then you're quite limited in where you want to attack and how you want to be aggressive and how you want to move out. This is the reason why we often see longer and later games on Amygdala. In saying that, there are still ways to be aggressive. We have seen a lot of popularity in drop lord all-ins, like German taxis and ZVP. The reason for this is the rush distance by air is quite short. Rush distance by air is quite short, so making drop lords and sending your queens across the map can be very effective on this map. Likewise, Nidus play. Nidus worms, they don't care how large the map is. As long as the Nidus gets up and running, that can also be very effective. So there are ways to bypass the length or the size of the map. There are ways to be aggressive as a Zerg player, and we'll see if Dark embraces any one of those. Now, first step does get into the mineral line. So far, no major damage. Shaves off a couple of lings, does get a full scout, does confirm no extra gases, does confirm lack of gas mining, and no crazy tech. That does go down. Nice pickoff. Does catch up for his Adept. Lings, they move out for a massive counterattack. Oracle likewise moves in. Back at home, herO, he's somewhat in position, but can he save his third base? So far, drone's going to be going down. Third base has been thrown down, but we're looking for a cancel. We'll get on top of the Adept. This backup Oracle is still on the way, and it looks like we will force a cancel. It's going to be close. There it is. Massive pickoff. Expansion is cancelled. Oracle was a couple of seconds too late. And this is all thanks to the fact that Dark did snipe the first Adept. So first Adept went down, which means less to defend, which means less time for the Oracle to pop out. It all did snowball into this. And Dark, can he cancel it for a second time? Oh, not quite. This time here he's in position. This time he has the Oracle. But already a better start for Dark compared to last game. Like, last game was brutal. Like, last game was very brutal, very intense. Meanwhile, do you see what I see? Very early Twilight Council out of herO. That is a Twilight Council in line with the Nexus timing as well. There is no Forge, not yet. If this was any other player, I would assume Glaives. I would assume Glaive Adepts out of herO, but considering it's herO, this could just be early Blink. herO, he's very fond of early Blink into later upgrades. So, one of the two. Yep, there it is. Late Forge, early Blink. Meanwhile, here he does dive in. Ooh, bleeds out one of the Oracles. Only 3 drone kills, not worth it for herO. Again, a much stronger early game here for Dark. Still losing some workers, that is true, but this is a far cry from the 26 drone kills we had last game. Or 20 plus kills we had last game. So Dark, he's holding, he's defending. Behind this, as I mentioned, it is Blink. So here he's going to be active. Oh. Now what I will say is that this early Blink timing can hit quite hard, and its goal ideally is to deny the fourth. Is to deny this fourth base and to force a cancel. And I would say that herO would have a higher chance of doing so if he didn't just lose an Oracle. Right now we're down to 2. These Oracles, they do amazing scouting, harassing, and dealing some economic damage, that is true, but what they're best at, especially as the game goes on, is supporting the Stalkers. They ensure that Lings cannot surround them. They ensure that the Stalkers have some support, whether it's with stasis traps or just the Pulsar Beam. Oracles, they have a lot of value in the mid game. But now we're down to 2, not 3. So this Blink timing from herO is less effective. It's going to be weaker than it otherwise should be. Lings, they hit the 3rd. herO back at home in position. Oracles, they're poking in, just playing with their shields. Taking a bit of hull damage though. herO diving further in. Gets Revelation off. Does confirm the Hydra tech. So he's aware that this is going to be... I was going to say Ling Hydra. That is going to be +1 range on the way. Dark, he might not drone. Dark, he has 68 workers. He's making Lings, making Hydras. Dark, this may just be a 3-base all-in. It is. So 3-base all-in out of Dark. He's going mass Ling Hydra. He's not droning, not taking gases. He's not taking up into Infestation Bit, into Hive Tech, into Lurkers. There's no tech, there's no saturation, there's no drones. Oh, catches out one of the Oracles. He gets 1, he gets 2. Oh my god. Yeah, both Oracles go down. Massive losses here for herO. And Dark, he will soon push out. He's waiting for his upgrades. Waiting for +1. Waiting for Hydra speed. Knocking down more rooks, opening up and making sure that reinforcements arrive that much faster. Now herO, he does have a Colossus on the way, not Storm. But herO, he needs more time. He needs more time. Dark, he's breaking through. Now, Dark, he does throw down Infestation Bit. That is an interesting decision here. This tells us that Dark, he actually does want a drone, but these drones will be very late. As you can see, there's 1 drone on the way. Dark, he still doesn't have any, or barely any saturation here. Dark moves in. So this tells us that Dark, he's thinking of a longer game. He thinks that he probably won't be able to kill herO, but he might. He might just kill him here and now. So Dark moves in. Colossus are spotted. Stalkers are trading well. Have the Concave though in favor of Dark. And Dark, he starter steps in and gets off the expansion. He should knock down the gold. Even catching out more Stalkers. And the Stalkers again, they have no support. Oh no! Yeah, a bit of a misclick there. herO, he has to blink back, blink away. Expansion goes down. That was a cancel, not a kill. That was a cancel. And Dark, he's still not droning, by the way. He's still not droning, he's still not saturating, he's still just making nothing but Lings and Hydras. He's going for the kill, going for the throat. And again, here, he had a much shakier early game as well. It's very shaky. And has Dark done it? The Colossus, they can trade quite well against this. It's just purely light units. Probes are falling in the mineral line. Colossus, they get a lot of swipes in, mainly on Lings, mainly on Hydras, and the base does go down. Yeah, massive pick off, and Darky can back off. He can back from here. He can back off. Hive is on the way. Lurker Den is on the way. Darky's been taking. He's still not been joining. Bear that in mind. He hasn't been joining, but there we go. Now he starts to join up. He's content. He killed the 4th base, killed the 3rd base. All Dark has to do is defend and survive the counterattack. Like, Darky's in the commanding position. Yeah, 12 drones on the way. He's droning, he's saturating. Can hear he just had a very shaky start to the game, into mid-game as well. Colossus, sure, they arrived, but alas, it just was barely any support for them. And what is Dark missing? Vipers. Like, Vipers are the answer to the Colossus. Lurker's morphing in as well. And Dark is looking comfortable. He's looking very comfortable here. He can just max out, he can just chill, max out. There's nothing pressuring Dark to push in. Like, there's no reason for Dark to try to break the gold again or engage with this army without maxing out. Oh, Shema, papi, Shema. Hello, good to see you. Dzień dobry, dzień dobry. There we go. Dark is pushing forward. Again, Lurkers have arrived. Darky's maxed out. He doesn't just have Lurkers. Remember, he has Vipers as well. He's lining the gold base. This is the one way that Hero can bounce back in this game, is with the gold. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen here. As, where are the Vipers exactly? Vipers, they are at the gold. They're full of energy. Now is their time. We're waiting for those abductions. We have attempted Skytoss on the way from Hero, but it's a bold move going for Skytoss here. Gonna happen. Nidus into the main. That's 0 mining here at the gold. And here come the yoinks. Oh, gets one. Gets one Colossus, and here he just has to abandon the base. He just has to abandon it. He cannot defend. He does shut down the Nidus at least. Nidus does fall. Darky rotates. Does rotate over. Oh, feedback's coming in. Darky gets a couple of shots off. Likewise, seeing Hydra towards the top side. They dip in. Reduction here on the Immortal, gets one. Jesus. As Darky attempted to break the northern base, doesn't quite pull it off. Not quite. Likewise, moving in, morphing into more Lurkers, getting 9 more, getting it to 20 Lunkers. Ay ay ay. Down to 18. 2 just went down. Massive abductions. Gets 1, gets 2. Takes down both Colossus. That's all the Dark needed. At this point, he can just dive in. At this point, he can just rush on forward. Over here into the main for Nidus. Lurkers into the 4th. Army comes over behind. But Darky's ready for everything. And again, Darky just got miles ahead earlier when it came to his first push, when it came to breaking the center 4th base. When it came to his Ling Hydra 3-base all in. And from there, Darky's just all over this. Gets into the main base, came to the production. Skytoss is on the way, but it's not going to finish. GG gets called, and Darky will take game number 2. We have a back and forth. We have a series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. as we have our back and forth here. Again, I was concerned this might be a little bit more one-sided, but no, never mind. We have a game, or we have a back and forth. We have a series. Again, here had a much harder time finding damage early on this time. The Oracle harass and the Adept harass was less successful. If you remember, it all started with the first Adept. The first Adept went down, and because the first Adept was sniped, Darky went for a Ling run by at the third base. He forced a cancel because there was no Adept to defend, because the Oracle was a little bit later. That all snowballed into Dark delaying his opponent, delaying herO. herO, because there's a little bit more pressure on him, he did lose his Oracles early on. He lost his first Oracle, just didn't find anywhere near as much damage, and that snowballed into the eventual all-in from Dark. GG. GG, well played. And we'll see if herO can bounce back. We'll see if Dark can maintain his momentum as we get into Game 3, as we load into Frostline. Let's go. Another large map. Another large map. But not just a large map, a more open map as well. And here we go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Frostline, we have our South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, tying up the series 1-1, fighting back and looking to take a lead in the series. It is Dark. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing his new team, Twisted Minds. It is herO. Welcome one and all to Frostline. Frostline, yes, being a large map, but being much more open here. Almost a polar opposite of Amygdala in that respect, where on Frostline there are so many more attack paths. On top of that, the third base, the triangular third base and the linear third base are so much more open. We have seen many a Protoss player attempt and fail to defend on 4 bases, just because it's so difficult to split your army in between the bases and to try to rotate and keep up with rotations of your opponent's army as well. We've seen a lot of players again attempt and struggle and fail to do so. We have seen players attempt to rectify that with static defense. We've seen players like herO, for example, just fully wall up with like cannons and shield batteries in at both bases actually, to try to pull that up and try to get into a longer game, but it's still very difficult. Still very difficult. Again, it isn't just how open these bases are, it's how spread out they are. Like the third and fourth are so spread out from each other, they're so far from each other. Likewise, there's also this center area in between the bases, which can also be abused or made use of. As Dark did get across map with his drone. So hatch gas pool opener. Dark, he's not quite able to hatch block or gas steal. Does pull out. Here we go. So we are settling in. So far we have our opener of choice. The drone is still alive, by the way. Finally goes down. But we do have a herO going for his own Stargate opener, to be expected, and Dark back at home droning on up. We'll see if Dark skips his roaches. We didn't quite get into it, but but last game, Dark, he did skip roaches, of course. That's what led into the Ling Hydra all-in. He also skipped +1 melee. He went +1 range, which is also a sign of less kind of longevity in the game. Melee does allow you to be a little bit greedier. Range instead clearly emphasized just how many Hydras were going to be produced to commit into set all in. So we'll see how Dark does adjust. And we'll see how he does approach herO. So hero's moving out with his adepts. This time joining up with his initial 2. That is going to be a Twilight Council before expansion for herO, so this is even earlier than last game. Now last game was early Blink from herO. This time this should be early Glaives. I mean, I say should, just like last game I have to re-emphasize that herO, he's known for early Blink timings at times. Like that's kind of his thing. But like Blink this early would be crazy. Like this has to be Glaives. We'll keep an eye on herO. hero's going for his third. Dark is here to delay. We'll shut down the probe. And there it is. Glaives are in production. Now, if Dark does skip his Roach Warren, he's going to be in trouble. It's going to be a tough hold here for Dark if he doesn't get a Roach Warren or a Bailey Nest. Dark is checking. He does confirm there is still no third. Something is wrong. Something is amiss. Hero is getting up to 5 gates. Jesus, even more than usual. Typically, this is just 4 gate glaives into an expansion. But he's getting up to 6. This is turning into a 2-base all-in. Like 6 gateways is insane. Dark, he keeps checking. He keeps checking time and time again. We need a Roach Warren. At this point, we need a Roach Warren. We might see one at 5 minutes. As Dark is still droning. There it is. Roach Warren's on the way. Roach Warren gets thrown down. Is it too late? As here, he's banking up with his adepts. Banking them up. He will soon move out. As Dark, once again, he delays. Picks off the probe. Lings, they say he confirms. Yeah, Lings slip in. He does confirm. We need some city. We need a wall off. There goes Spine Crawler at the third. So he throws down Spines. Again, he knows that his Roach Warren is late, so it's going to be a more intense hold here for Dark. And he's ready for a wall. Yeah, he does fully wall off the natural. Dempsey attempt to shade. Shade is going to be denied. Hero trading with the Lings. He can try to go for the Queens. There's no chance to use. Gets one. Gets one. Gets 2 Queens. Not bad. Shades into the third. Workers get pulled away. Spine Cooler does complete. Roaches are amassing. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Dark. Hero, he needs more damage. And the wall is still solid. Spine Crawler does complete at the natural as well. Oh, Hero instead just collapsing on these roaches. Picks up a couple of them. 2 roaches go down. Getting 3. Getting 4. Shading on the Queens. I mean, these are decent trades here for Hero, but no economic damage. His list expanding. He's expanding. More adepts have arrived. Hero trying to overwhelm. Getting on top of the Queen. Does shade in. Queen goes down. Queen does fall. Can he take down all the roaches? He's just taking the straight on fight. He takes down the roaches one after the other. Yeah, roaches are falling. Reinforcements are not trickling in because of the wall. So Dark only fighting with half his army. And only with half. He's stuck on 2 bases. Hero back at home. Probing up. He's probing. Another roach falls. Spine Crawler as well. They do try to break in. There we go. Shading towards the main. We're just trying to keep up. Drones can finally go down. How many? So far, 2, 3, 4 drone kills. Nice damage here by Hero. Again, he traded very nicely against the Queens and Roaches earlier. Surprisingly so. Shading back into the main. Back into the mineral line. Getting another 8, 9, 10 workers. Does recall back home. Oracle is deflected. And Dark is in a rough position. Dark is in a very rough position. He does have the hive. Sorry, he does have the lair at least. He does have roach speed on the way. Dark, he can go for a counterattack. But he let out so much. 10 drones. 13 roaches. 5 queens. Did I say 5 queens? 6 queens. So another queen goes down. And the spine crawler. And 2 more drone. And 1 more drone. Ay, ay, ay. And despite Dark's defenses, it just wasn't enough. And Hero takes a lead. Takes a very strong lead here, very strong stance. Third base up and running. +1 with the Forge, Gateway Explosion as well. Getting into Mass Blink Stalker. And Dark is attempting to redrone. One of the oracles goes down. Gets one. Here he's extending here. Does get 2 of the queens, but will lose one of the oracles. Dives in. He's gonna lose another oracle. Hero, calm down. I mean, Hero's ahead, so he can afford to slip up a little bit here, but still. There's away 2 of his oracles. Likewise, here he's pushing. I mean, he still has an overwhelming ground army. Just being a little bit wasteful. Stalkers are moving in. Here pushing forward. Does have the upgrade lead. Likewise has the larger army as well. Guardian Shield coming into play. GG gets called as herO will break through, and herO takes a 2-1 lead. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, herO, he did deal critical damage with the adepts. He was able to get 10 workers. He was able to get 13 roaches and 5 queens. Sorry, 6 queens. Should fix that, should rectify that, but it was insane damage. And unfortunately, Dark, he couldn't sustain that, he couldn't keep up with that. Dark, if you remember, it was a late response to the initial Glaive Adepts. It was a later Roach Warren, and because of that, he had to throw down extra Spine Crawlers. He was doing a great job when it comes to re-walling his natural, but at the same time, it was also stifling his reinforcements, so he was only ever fighting with a portion of his roaches, not with all of them, and here he was able to overwhelm. He was able to catch out the roaches early on, and snowball out of control. GG. GG, well played. Very nicely done there by herO, and that leads us into game number 4. And we'll see if Dark can bounce back and force the ace match, or if herO will overwhelm and claim the series. Now, personally, I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping for a game 5. I want the most out of these players. I'm greedy like that. I'm greedy, Papi. I'm greedy, but the pressure is on. The pressure is on Dark to bring it back. Here we go. Here we go. Double Forge at the 3rd is wild. It is wild. It's one of those things where I don't think herO cared necessarily because of how far ahead he was, but yes, it is a standard game that's not where they should be. Not where they should be. It's fine. It showed his confidence, man, his confidence. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Wizards of Gold. We have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, leading the series 2-1. One game away from becoming this week's Korean StarCraft League champion. It is herO. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, the blue Zerg from South Korea, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back, and we'll see if he can force the ace match. It is Dark. Cristiano. Papi, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Ay, ay, ay. Good to see you, Papi. Good to see you. Like, shining as always. Oh, ay, Papi. Calm down. Calm down. El mismísimo Cristiano. ¿Qué tal? Good to see you. Good to see you. Oye, Cristiano. Next HSL? Are you playing? Next HSL. Stop playing team games with Luciano, Papi. 1v1. It'll be great to see you again. It'll be amazing. I want my Cristiano. For now, though, settling into our game, settling into our setup. Those who don't know Cristiano, he is a Chilean Protoss player from Chile. He has since stepped away from the game. It's been a while since he's competed, but you know, he's near and dear to our hearts. Has even casted on the channel before. He's casted on the CranKy Ducklings. He definitely did kind of level up the stakes when it comes to apparel as well. He was able to rock up in a suit. So it was beautiful. It was crazy. I believe that was for, I think that was for EPT NA. It was for the Americas, DreamHack Americas. That's it. It was like DreamHack Winter or something. EPT Winter. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. But now though, standard opener out of Dark, Hatch Gas Pool. Likewise, herO back at home going for his own gate expand into Cybercore. So far, standard openers, nothing crazy, nothing too wild. We have our take of choice, Stargate opener out of herO. Now, clearly, we have seen that herO, he's willing to go into early Twilight Council timings after the initial Stargate to go into Glaive Adepts. And we'll see if he does go into that again here on Wizards of Gold. Of course, this is a rush map, the smallest map in the current ladder map pool. This map is known for aggression, known for all-ins. You got a tournament on Sunday. I think it's a Testator. Oh, let's go. On Sunday. Okay, okay. Yo, actually playing, actually competing? Ah, Cristiano. Beautiful. I'll be cheering for you, papi. I'll be cheering for you. Como siempre, como siempre. So now Dark, he's just setting up. Ken still just saturating, still just droning. Likewise, the first Oracle does move out across the map, and we'll see if Dark can keep up with said Oracle harass. Dark, he is making 12 Lings, so he can threaten the third base of herO. He has found success with this already. As Lings, they do hit the field. Meanwhile, this time herO did keep both adepts back at home to defend. Lings, they go for the probe, but alas, they won't quite get it. Oracle takes a lot of hits, gets one, gets two, gets three drones. Three workers go down. Lings, they get across them, they get a surround, and they want the expansion, they want to force a cancel. And looks like they will. Oof. Nice pickup. Does cancel the third. Again, herO not quite ready for it. Lings, they do head towards the natural as well. Bearing in mind that Dark, he needed some damage here as he did delay his own drone production for all these Lings. And once again, early Twilight Council out of herO. And we'll see if he throws down a Forge. Now, we've already seen that game 1 was early Twilight Council into Blink. Then, of course, last game we saw early Twilight Council into Glaives. I don't see a Forge. What do you have for us? What do you got? Regardless, aggression from herO. Twilight Council is done. 2 more gates on the way. Are we going to Glaives once again? The answer is no, we're going into Blink. Now, if you see what I see, there's no Forge. There's going to be a delayed Forge here from herO, so very early Blink from our Protoss player. This can lead into a 3-base all-in. Right now, we're on 4 gateways. Keep an eye on the gateway counts, as we're getting to 5 already. So already 5 gateways. We'll see if he goes up to 6, 7, and then 8. If herO doesn't take his gases at the 3rd base, then this is the beginning of a 3-base all-in, of an 8 gate. Part of this decision may also be because herO was forced to cancel the 3rd. Because his economy is already late, he might just commit into an all-in as a result. That might like factor into his decision. We have a safety Baneling Nest on the way for Dark. Clearing up these rocks, saturating. herO, he's still on 6. There we go, 7. Yeah, 8 gates. He's going for the all-in. We're getting up to 7 gateways already. That's a lot of gateways. Forger +1. And typically the 8th gateway is proxied to reinforce across the map. Instead of having a robot with a Warp Prism, you have a proxy gateway for the reinforcements. As all the tumors go down. Now here he's still building up. Lings, they do get a surround though. Blink is not done. Massive catch, massive pick off 1. 2 Stalkers going down. A very nice catch here from Dark. Oracles, they will punish. Here he pushes. No probe yet. There it is. Yeah, there's the probe, there's the pylon, and this should be the proxied 8th gateway. So it's going to be that 3-base 8 gate all in. Again, here he's very fond of this. Dark is just massing up nothing but Lings. Here he doesn't have that overwhelming number yet. So Lings, they go in for a surround. Nice stasis. Stasis pops off. Yeah, here he creates a choke point. He cannot get surrounded. Dark is in trouble. Dark is in a lot of trouble here, trying to engage, trying to dive in. So far, nice spin control out of herO. Another stasis about to pop off. Does connect. Oh my god. Speak of the wall. He fully walls this area off. Lings, they just can't engage. Once again, nice spin control. Lings, they trickle in. Here he maintains his position. Again, he's reinforcing here across the map. The gateway's still on the way, so late reinforcements, late warp ins. Behind this, going to charge. This is a proxy 9th gateway. This is on 9 gates. Zells, they do a great job tanking. And Dark, he does morph in those Banelings. Banelings, they waddle in. Oh, they attempt to. Stasis go off. We get some decent connections. Decent connection. There's nothing left. There's nothing left here. Lings are still trickling in. Queens are getting exposed. And here he's so close to breaking Dark. So close. Once again, very nice blink control. The Stalkers, they barely survive. Oh, one Stalker goes down. This one so far. Just the one, and yeah, he's done it. At this point, herO, he has done it. GG gets called. He breaks Dark. The 3-base all in. The 8 gates snowball, I should say 9 gate snowballs out of control, and herO, he will claim the series 3-1, becoming this week's KSL champion. GG. GG, well played. Dark, he was able to do some damage early on, that is true, but unfortunately, Dark, he had no Roach Warren. The reason why he went for the Banelings, I believe, is that Dark, he was blindly getting ready for Adepts. Banelings, they're amazing against, they have their place against Adept Harass, or Adept follow-ups, Glaive Adepts, I mean, which would have been the same build that we saw previously, but against Blink Stalkers, that's where you need more than just Lings. You need either Ling Hydra with some Hydra support, or Ling Roach with some Roach support. We had neither. We had Ling Queen and Banelings, and as you saw, Stalkers, they have their way with that kind of army, especially with their stasis traps. That was another big factor when it came to the assault there of herO. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to herO as he does claim the series. My condolences to Dark, and herO, he still maintains that 100% win rate. herO, every KSL that he has signed up for this year, he has won. He's won every single KSL he signed up for. I say that, I have that little like caveat specifically because for KSL 72, herO, he didn't play. He didn't play, so he didn't win it. Didn't play, didn't win. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to herO. Oh. And shout out to Dark. Shout out to Dark. Dark, he's letting us know. He's letting us know that that the next KSL is on the 3rd of May. So in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks is next KSL. And Dark, he's letting us know that yes. So KSL 73. Sorry, 74. KSL 74 is going to be his last KSL. So he's letting us know that in 2 weeks' time, that'll be his last Korean StarCraft League. So, oh good, jeez. So much love to Dark, much love. Again, we mentioned before that Dark, he is poised to go to the military. He's already let us know that. I think last time, the last update that we got was he was going to the military in April. This is letting us know that most likely he is going like first week of May. So again, first week of May is the last, or is our next Korean StarCraft League, and it's going to be Dark's last KSL as well. So much love to Dark, much love. Again, he's an amazing player. He's clearly he's in form, right? Like clearly he's in form. Clearly, like Dark, to make it here to the grand finals, like he's still, you know, in peak condition in a way, still in peak condition. But you know, something when it comes to our Korean players is they will have to, you know, go to military eventually, and Dark, he is scheduled to go to the military soon. TM, just letting us know that in 2 weeks his final KSL. It's final KSL. So much love to Dark. Amazing casting as always. Oh, thank you, Ganjama. Thank you. Do appreciate it. So, yeah, much love to Dark. Big shout outs. At least does let us know that we might see more of Dark in the next 2 weeks. So in the next 2 weeks, we might see a little bit more of Dark in some of these open cups and open tournaments, whether it's the World TV Mondays, Pegasaur Mondays. We might see a little bit more of Dark. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thank you so much, Kashim. Thank you so much, Kashim, for resubscribing for 19 months. Oh my god, thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for resubscribing. We do appreciate it. Share my baby, share my. Kashim, of course, he's a pillar of the StarCraft scene, of the StarCraft community. For those who do not know, Kashim, he is one of the big admins in the scene. He does admin, he does organize, he does put a lot of work behind the scenes, especially in Polish StarCraft. So much love to Kashim. Much love. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're going to be wrapping up. Going to be wrapping up here for the day. I say for the day because we have more StarCraft on the horizon. Let's catch up. Let's catch up with our schedule here. As you can see on my right, we have our weekly schedule. Here we are Saturday. Saturday morning, we just wrapped up with the KSL. We have in a couple of hours the MSO. That's going to be at 7 p.m. at KST. That's going to be at 8 p.m. AEST. That is in 3.5 hours. In 3.5 hours, we are live with our monthly tournament. That is a monthly broadcast of Amateur StarCraft, of Bronze to Masters. So Bronze to Master StarCraft is on the horizon here with the Master Swan Open. Then after that, Sunday morning at 3 a.m. KST or 4 a.m. AEST, we're going to be live with the Brazilian StarCraft Circuit Day 1. The Brazilian StarCraft scene, they are hosting an offline event. They're hosting a big offline event in Sao Paulo. And this isn't the offline event yet. This is a lead up. This is the online group stage. So there's going to be an online group stage. The playoffs will be at the offline venue. So we're working through the group stage. We're going through the group stage, and that is this weekend. That is going to be Sunday and Monday morning. Because of that, I'm typically the admin for MSO. I will be adminning MSO, and I'm probably going to sleep. Like, I'm probably going to admin MSO, then go to bed as quickly as possible, maybe get a couple of hours of sleep, and then wake up, and then shakily try to cast some Brazilian StarCraft. We'll do our best. We'll do our best. But that's going to be later on, I guess, this evening. That's going to be in 12 hours, actually. 12 hours time, we'll be live with some Brazilian StarCraft. Likewise, tomorrow we're going to be live with the Fire Cup group stage as well. Fire Cup number 9 group stage also coming at you in just over 24 hours. So we got you covered there. Plenty of StarCraft. Again, as you can see, we are live multiple times a day, every single day, twice a day, every day. We had half a day off yesterday on Friday, and next week we'll have half a day off as well. So we do take half days off. Otherwise, non-stop StarCraft on the CranKy Ducklings, as always. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to support us, you can support us via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat, and you'll get a link to our Patreon page. So we got you covered there. Again, our Patreon is designed to fund our tournaments. It is designed to fund Sparkling Tuna Cup, Master Swan Open, and Sea Duckling Open as well. So our tournament that we're hosting in 3 hours, that is funded via Patreon. So thank you so much to all of our patrons. Our next goal is at 500 USD a month. We are almost there. We're getting there. So help us reach that goal if you want to help support the tournaments and support the players as well, as 100% of the prize money goes towards the players. Otherwise, very quickly, there was something else I was going to bring up. Slipped my mind. But with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, our next broadcast is in 3.5 hours. Whew. And yeah, with that, we're wrapping up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you guys either later on tonight or tomorrow for some Brazilian StarCraft action. Till then, hasta luego. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego. See you next time.